This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 916 for the week of Monday, April 27th, 2026. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
And my name is Alex.
On today's episode of the podcast, we have a very special guest. You may know him as the translator for One Piece in Weekly Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. He also does Akana Banashi, and the... Oh, what's the name of the last one? Folly.
Kurumizawa's Folly.
Kurumizawa's. I don't even know why I tried to do the... Whatever. Stephen Paul, how's it going?
I always call it Kurozumi's Folly, which is
nice.
all about Orochi.
That's good. Yeah.
I like that. Stephen, how are you doing?
Yep. I'm here. I'm good. I'm ready to answer for my various crimes. I'm just guessing. Based on the tenor of the discussion, we'll see what we find out.
So this has been, I'll make this quick, but this has been like one of the craziest weeks I've ever had at work. So I really have not been in touch with anything happening on the internet, and it's the greatest thing ever in that one little sliver. We also have our anime recap host Sam Leach. How's it going, Sam?
Proletariat, rise up.
Okay.
He's been on a kick lately.
This is my thing now. I'm a communist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's your thing now? Okay. This week on the One Piece Podcast, we're going to go through chapter 11, 81. What's the title? It's Gods and Devils, right?
God
Something
and
like that.
Devil.
God and Devil. So light chapter this week. Obviously nothing, too, serious. We also have some piece together. We have the answers to last week's trivia. I don't know if you want that at the top or at the... We'll do it in the piece together. And more of our Glup Shitbeard poll results on our Discord. If you want to vote for your favorite character that you've completely forgotten about from One Piece, you could join us on Discord. It's free, available for anyone at Discord. The link is on our website. Before we get started with all of that, though, I want to talk about Patreon. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's this website that allows people to raise money for like their independent causes, including the One Piece Podcast. This is basically like our entire revenue. So we really appreciate everyone who is a supporter there.
Yes, please support Maji Media Podcasting Concern.
Yes. Well, now you're making it sound suspect. No, but we have alternate titles and alternate images. Kirby had some really amazing ones from last week that are definitely worth a look, especially if you're a fan of Doug. And I'm not talking about Disney's Doug. I'm talking about the original one. And we also have, the latest poll had closed for the sticker crew, and it tied between Steve's images of Lego Nami and Luffy's Give a Hoot Rita Book images. So those will be the stickers for the upcoming month for all subscribers, $12 and up. So that's the Patreon stuff. There's really no news this week, so I think we should get straight into the show. Let's do it. This is the manga recap for chapter 1181, God and Devil. You'd be a devil if you didn't subscribe to shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. The latest chapters come out free, legally, worldwide. That's anywhere in the world, I believe. It's in English and other languages on Manga Plus, so check that out. Again, shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Before we get into the cover page, Sam, first we have to talk about the author comment. Ed.
Yes. Oda this week. Oda goes to concerts and he likes to tell us about it. So this week he says, "Why do the words Mr. Children pick help me realize so much? Their live show was the best." And if you don't remember Mr. Children, I think maybe back during Strong Week, I think Greg referred to Mr. Children as like the most mainstream dad rock possible in Japan.
And that's why I love it. He's talking about music a lot. I don't know what he's doing. the last few weeks, but I get. But
I
I
wonder
was
if he's
looking,
like,
yeah.
I wonder if he's like watching the show from like the green room backstage or something. Like, yeah, waiting for them to come back so he can hang out with them.
What if he's in the band?
Yeah, I think he would do like what was it, Suzuki-san with wrestling, where he like kind of hangs out with them at the end.
Yeah. Suzuki-gun.
Yeah. Kun, sorry.
Right.
Suzuki-gun, Suzuki Army,
Gun.
the wrestling stable. Yeah, where he got his own jacket.
Sorry, this is outside my wheelhouse if that's not clear. I was gonna say, Mr. Children, I was looking up a little bit to like refresh my recollection about their history. They are as old as I am, in that the band started 39 years ago. And they also, much like me, haven't released an album since I think 2020. So they're playing the greatest hits, I assume.
I thought you were gonna say they're as old as you are, like as in they are your age, and you're like, wow.
No.
What have I done with my life?
I have not been Mr. Children. I've only produced 916 episodes of the One Piece podcast and some.
I mean, if they started their band in the late 80s, that means these guys are probably like in their mid 50s at this point.
At least, yeah.
At least,
probably.
yeah.
They're Gen Xers, we'll say that for sure. But so is Oda. So that they're contemporaries of Oda. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyway, enough wasting time. Let's get to the main event, Sam. What's going on the cover page?
Okay, on the cover page, there is a big logo that says NEP-EK.
Sam,
good. This is
you're
good.
never welcome back on this show again.
Oh, sorry. They do clarify above the logo that it's One Piece.
Yeah.
This is chapter 1181, God and Devil.
I said
There's
that
a very
already.
good reason for giving Sam this page.
We don't know what it is. We'll never know what it is.
We're looking at the reader request for Carrot singing and walking over pan sharks lined up in the sea, requested by Michi Nakahara. Yes, I love that she has like a Lilith style, like almost bomber jacket.
It says Queen on it.
With a hood.
With a hood that says Queen on it.
Is anyone going to make
Pretty
the
good.
joke from like 10 years ago? Yes, Queen. That is.
Queen.
Oh, I was like, we are the champions?
Oh, I like that better, actually.
So she's walking on this like bridge of happily sleeping sharks, and there are
What makes them pan sharks?
I was going to say, these are
They're
Oda.
pandas.
They're panda sharks.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Remember they showed up at the end of Baratier with
I
Yosako
remember
in their
now.
mouth.
I remember now. I feel
so
really
this
ashamed of myself for
this like
Googling it.
street sign brings up some logistical questions.
Yes.
How do they
One,
know
it's
where
in the
Zoe
middle
is?
of the ocean.
By the way,
Only people traveling by Pan Shark Bridge would need it as directions.
Yeah.
One direction is going to Ninjin Park, which would be Carrot Park, which I guess is the island
Which
behind
I
it.
only
So is
know
that
because of the Usopp pirates.
that's true. Sam, is she queen of Ninjin Park and she's the Duke of
Well, she should be.
Zoe? She's like
Well, she's just Queen General,
okay. Yes.
which does supersede being a Duke.
Yeah,
But
it's a
also,
little-
one of the signs is pointing towards Zoe, which is a famously mobile island.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
CinemaSins. What are you doing here?
Chalk
I like
it up.
the,
First, yeah.
I like the buildings in Ninjin Park shaped like carrots. That amuses me.
No,
Yeah,
is
it's a
cute. It is
very
cute.
it's a very whole cake island type.
Yeah,
of,
it does feel like
Yeah.
If
yeah,
Big Mom
like a
were
Toto
really into
Land,
carrots,
one of the Toto Land islands.
yeah.
Mhm. Including the
Is
one
is
in the
the
sky.
whole island the park,
Yeah.
or is the park on the island?
That's a good question.
I'm assuming the park is on the island. That feels more correct to me. Yeah, no, I like the one in the sky. So I'm
Mhm.
guessing there's a Carrot Sky Island or Ninjin Sky Island or something.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Any thoughts besides this, Sam? I know you've been champing at the bit here.
Oh, this fucking rules.
Carrot's cute. She's the best.
I rolled out of bed. I breaking the eye crust from my lids.
Enough detail.
Thank God it was
just
the eye
barely
crust.
just squinting at my phone to see what the new chapter of One Piece.
I love
was
the
looking
whimsy
like.
of it. Or her carrying the basket of carrots, like she's traipsing off to grandmother's house.
I like how she's wearing I guess it is kind of like a little Red Riding Hood sort of thing with the carrots and the coat with the outfit that she usually has, but it's also like that futuristic like puffy coat that everyone at Egghead has. So
it looks like Sugar's coat a little.
Well, with the crown.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we finally found out Sam's pen name, or should I call you Michi Nakahara?
Yeah, I'm jealous of Ken, who may or may not have been gotten to contribute to that one color spread.
You could still do that.
I could, but now that they've done a carrot one, like how many years before they do another?
Yeah, you missed your chance.
How many years? Probably 2.
You can always request Caribou or Caesar.
That's true.
Yeah,
I could.
Actually, you should. He loves drawing Caribou, apparently, because he keeps showing up. So, you got that going for you. Sam, why don't we start the chapter? I know it's not carrot, but we could... We'll power through.
We begin the chapter with some memories of Harold's latter
World's
words.
most gullible man.
World's most gullible man.
Kick him while he's down, didn't you?
Harold.
Kick him while he's literally been dead for 50 years. But yeah, okay, whatever.
That makes me the worst king in the history of Elbaf. So you must kill me to take the throne, Loki. And then Loki is soliloquizing towards Imu, saying he died at the young age of 144. He was just a baby. He was just a child. But giants live to 300 years naturally.
What was it divided by again?
To go
3?
yet.
It's like a third of it?
I guess
he was a very early Balder.
He shaved his head, didn't he?
Yeah, if
that was part of the plot.
If we're saying a human is
48, yeah. Ish.
So if I take it you're the one. Oh, so I take it you're the one who manipulated and killed my father. And Loki is blindfolded, so he's not like technically looking down, but that's kind of the idea of the scene where the camera's kind of angled up at him.
You can see the contempt, like in the shape of his mouth, he has for Imu.
Yes, it's a good sneer.
Love it. It's
sneer,
a really good sneer. This is a very good preview page. I missed it this week, but like I would have been impressed.
And then Imu, like perfectly eye level with the imaginary camera here, who says, "The one who suffered the greatest setback was Mu." And then Loki is readying up.
2 possible jokes diverge in a wood. Sam.
Loki is winding up a big like overhead slam with his hammer. You got the hockey lightning bolts. Some rumbling of the clouds. Loki is saying, "Tell me." And then more old words of Harold, who's saying, "Once I'm dead, my reputation means nothing to me. All that matters is Elbaf's future." And we're just getting kind of a collage of the memories of Harold. Loki's continuing to wind up. Imu, just kind of seeing what's about to happen here. Isn't that right? And then Loki, out loud in the present day, "What the hell did you do to my old man?"
Ed?
Yes. And Loki is bringing the hammer down, and you can see Nidhogg looks like General Zod trapped in the Phantom Zone. The face on the side of the hammer.
Ratatoskr.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry? Yeah. But he looks like he's trapped inside the hammer.
like there's a saran wrap over it or something with the way that he's like pushing against it.
Yeah, like a bakery mold.
Yeah.
Oh god, I would so want to bake cookies that look like this now.
So yeah, he
That
brings
sounds
the
fun.
hammer down, and it's Ragna Izuchi.
Oh yeah, Steven, can we have a Steven corner for
Oh
the
yeah,
for
this
Yeah.
is an interesting one. I think I ultimately, because there's another attack where I kind of gave a translation of it as well, but this one, because it had like such a specific name from Oda, I think I left it with the way that he pronounced it. Yeah, so he does have, so he starts out the first half of it, the Ragna part is Ragnir, like it is the same kanji that he uses to write Ragnir, but he said Ragna instead. So like he clearly wanted it to be like a derivation of Ragnir, and then Izuchi is like one hammer blow or something. So yeah, the fact that he changed it from Ragnir to Ragna, like I was like, okay, maybe he's doing something there. Maybe he wants like a specific sound, and it kind of looks cool as a
Ragnarok,
name.
I just is the
Ragna,
thing.
yeah,
It's
maybe,
the adjective version of Ragnir.
yeah, something like that.
Ragna, rock you.
I thought you were doing
Yeah.
the DBZ intro, but yeah, okay.
You know?
So
Or is that
in short, it's just a big Ragnir hammer blow.
okay?
And
Yeah,
so
yeah, go ahead.
as he's bringing the hammer down, Imu is just sort of standing there impassively, and it looks like a sort of a goblin-y looking Pac-Man or a chain chomp of black flame starts to come out of his back. And over to the next side of the page, where the hammer hits the little goblin-y looking thing and makes him, like, sort of splats him. And then there's a big explosion where it hits the guess that's Imu's defense.
I think that's just
Yeah.
I like the space between
Yes,
between
that's
it.
cool.
It's reminiscent of like the Whitebeard and wasn't it? I think yeah, like even the sky splitting sort of thing, which should be happening here. I mean, come on, let's.
It kind of reminds me of that like physical property that they always tell you, which is that like no
Yeah.
atoms actually touch each other. There's always some kind of barrier. Even solid objects that you're touching, they're not actually touching.
Yeah,
atom
that's
to
the
atom.
AT field.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
I mean,
right.
this is kind of Emu's AT field. I think Ken had a really good observation, which is that this little goblin-y thing looks a lot like one of those like heartless monsters from Kingdom Hearts. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
ones that
You
they're little
mentioned those.
balls with like horns and a little like ghosty tail thing that looks almost exactly like this. So I think that was a good call.
He's definitely Oda. I feel like for Elbaf in particular, and maybe with the Holy Knights, has really been taking from video games a lot more than even usual.
There's definitely a lot of fantasy,
Yeah.
fantasy tropes.
Yeah,
going
maybe
on.
this is Emu's stand.
Sure. I mean, I have thoughts that I'll talk about later. Meanwhile, eventually I determined was Sanji flying into, that's, Lilith, and Bonnie is, I think, trying to help. Sanji incapacitated here from the last chapter, as you may recall. We also have Jinbei, Frankie's horn, and Nami bracing themselves from this enormous impact. And Loki, like the rest of us, is like, are you kidding? He blocked that? What are those black flames? What power do you have?
Good
Well,
question.
let me explain.
How about not really?
But first, don't look down at my fingers because I'm okay. The joke we made last week. And here come more black flames as his arm seems to puff up, and he says, "Omen is what was the voice we did? Omen is my military might." Something emo-y, I can't. And Loki looks concerned or confused as presumably, though not in, I'll editorialize, not in the best illustrated way, Emu is growing larger. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very hard to tell that
Flames
that's
are getting
actually
thicker,
happening.
and Emu is getting larger.
there it is. And Loki, though, tells the reader, you could turn giant? And just probably one of the more mysterious lines of the chapter, it's a power that lurks within all things. What? What?
Yeah,
Sam,
all things is very deliberate too. There
is that like the voice of all things, like the same?
Could be related, or it might just be a happy coincidence that Oda is using in terms of poetic language. But I definitely translated it that way intentionally.
Okay,
to match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk more about translation, I assume, toward the end, since, as you said, Simba's very upset with you. And here, and they meet head to head here. You have the chain chomp guy at the end of the spear thing that Emu has. I'm sorry, I don't have a more. Yeah, Emu's lollipop. Emu's devil lollipop.
Emu tries to pop it, his dentures fall out.
Okay.
He is very old, as we know. He must be.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Emu ricochets off of Loki's Ragnarok, the hammer, and Loki looks above and sees that now he is holding. Oh, what was that? No, it doesn't look like that usually. No, yeah, okay. It has a, what do you call a hilt? I guess at the end of it now.
Yes, a hilt. Mm-hmm.
But the black flame still is at the end of the handle. And what is about to happen, Alex?
Well, the handle grows a blade from it, which he uses to impale Loki through what looks to be the sternum.
Oh, poor guy.
Or no, I guess it's his up here, one of his upper, like a collarbone or something.
Yeah.
Emu says, "Blade of Judgment, Nemesis." And
that's the voice.
Yeah, like someone who's just like really overworking at Hot Topic. And I've noticed that the his sword kind of looks like the big sword that's in the background of Elbaf, which kind of interesting. Maybe a coincidence, but
I mean, maybe he saw that and it's like, I want one of those.
Maybe. Either way, does some pretty decent damage to Loki, and Emu starts a bit of a monologue here, and he says, "It is the nature of man to crave strength. However, when power so lusted after is too easily gained, corruption." And so he's sort of like got his
getting Kylo Ren energy, if anything.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, that's
he's got his wings.
The same ilk, you know.
He's got his wings back, and as an example of corruption, we see the Domir Versied Dory and Brogy from sort of like a little flashback panel.
Look how corrupt they are. They're adorable.
Yes, and then he swings around. His little chain chomp thing is turned into a bit of a mace, and he swings it above his head like a flail. And he says, "Choosing servitude out of self-interest, covenants." And we see
the voice is correct, but it definitely takes away from the impact of it.
That's what we decided on. And covenant, and for the covenants, we have we see Harold as an example. And then he says, "And the envy that seeks to achieve one's goals, the power of Oman." And Loki winds up for another attack as he lets his chain chomp fly. And he says, "These form the Trinity." Oh, and next page, of what we call domination. And the flail hits Loki head on. It explodes. Loki's still standing, though, because he's a strong boy, holding Ragnar with both hands, sort of staggered, coughing up smoke here. And Emu continues, and he says, "I shall give thee the power of God to step beyond all others." And Loki doesn't give any fucks here. And
why should he?
Yeah, let's loosen with Ragnar. And says, "I didn't ask," and smashes Emu right into the ground here.
Not far.
That's a great recovery because he's like doing a full limbo
Yeah.
and then goes from there straight to like swinging all the way back forward. It's good body.
Also,
It's very cool.
Seeing Imu from the back, that is, wow, he has a lot going on there. But cool, like that definitely feels, I don't know if Evangelion-y is the word, but it definitely feels like
A little bit.
biblical-ish. Like it's definitely a crazy looking thing going on.
All the eyes, like that's the
eyes and the wings and the devil
the
tail.
biblically accurate emu.
I was going to say he has a biblically accurate hula hoop on his back. Like that's the
Yes, biblically accurate hula hoop. Correct.
Yeah. So we sort of pan. We sort of have a full view of the battle happening. Like we kind of zoom out a little bit and we see the giant tree and the big sword in the background, and we see just what kind of scale this battle is.
What's that cracking noise? What is that?
That's probably the I don't know, the crackling of the thunder of Ragnar. Or
it's like
the trees falling.
Yeah, the trees, something like that.
Yeah, like they're really laying waste to wherever they're fighting, and
the reverberations of the impact or something.
Yes, so that took a lot out of Loki, and he says, he's wheezing, and
like a grizzled old prospector.
He says, "So your power is God's domination. I think you mean a contract with the devil." And Emu, as saying as a dumb teenager who has just read Nietzsche, God, devil, what's the difference?
Mind blown.
Yeah,
edgy atheist.
That's right. He's an edgy atheist.
That's really good.
Stephen.
No other 15-year-old is reading Nietzsche right now, I assure you.
Yes.
It's amazing how
And
he's
then-
probably the oldest person in the series and stunted at the age of 15.
Maybe.
Probably.
And then the proper response
Lily.
from Loki, an adult, is, "I don't give a crap." And
Loki
he's
is 16 in human years, so yes, he's older, mentally.
mentally older. Yeah.
Emotionally.
But this is a very cool, like, sort of freeze frame panel where Emu is much closer to the camera, and he's doing the hovering. You can see the wings and all of the details, the hula hoop as we mentioned. And Loki is kind of staring up at him from the ground, brandishing the hammer. He continues, "No one lords it over me." And Emu, in silence, considers this and then says, Domination is the only true bliss in the world." And
we got it, guys.
He has a sudden flashback, very interesting panel here, which I didn't really quite realize what I was looking at first. You could see clearly that Joy Boy is here because you can see the brim of the hat, and this guy's laughing as he says, "Isn't that right?" But in the background, the person he is talking to does appear to be Emu in his his shrouded form, which is interesting to consider that apparently this is a look that goes way back.
I have an answer here. He obviously has one of those plushies that Oda has, and he just likes having it.
He's holding it in his hands in front of him, like,
yes.
like
don't toy with
big
him.
hug.
Yeah, but pre-crown.
Pre-crown. Yes, that's the big difference here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead, Stephen. I interrupted with this.
And there's this momentary kind of resonance suddenly that Emu is taken by as he remembers Joy Boy saying, "Isn't that right?" And Loki is he's charging up now. You can see the hammer is crackling, and Emu suddenly he's seemingly possessed by some emotion, and he does, in kind of the classic elongated Oda shouting style, he opens his mouth as he's holding his spear sideways. He says, "Isn't that right, Joy Boy?" So he's kind of repeating this line that is for some reason resonating with him.
Like, I thought I told you, boy.
He's mentally unstable.
Yeah, it does a very strange reaction to, especially considering he was the one who was just talking, and then he pauses, and then he's like, "Isn't that right, Joy Boy?"
Typing himself up.
Yeah. Speaking of mentally unstable. Well,
right, actually. Talking about domination and bliss. And so the force of his shout it rattles throughout Elbaf and the scene as suddenly we move over to Luffy, who does have like a little like split second of acknowledgement or of noticing, because he's got the little like spark in the corner. He's like, oh, and we see that he is stuffing himself with the gross charred food,
as you do.
And yes, certainly as Luffy does. And he is monologuing. He's talking to himself while he eats, and so it's completely unintelligible to. I wonder what they're going to do in the anime for this.
Subtitles.
Maybe that's it. That's probably the best choice.
I assume Tanaka stuffs her face while she's doing these lines.
I mean, that would be the
nice method acting.
Yes, yeah, exactly. The only legitimate way to do it. So yeah, he's scarfing and gobbling and chomping on this stuff as he goes. Warf, chomp, munch. And apparently, what he's trying to say through all of this is more. Gotta eat more. Never felt this before. Probably referring to the haki or the omen that he is feeling from Imu. Damn, it's so heavy and harsh. What's with that guy's haki?
Good. It's like he's a 15-year-old at Hot Topic or something.
Can't win without a full stomach. More. And then he's slurping up the giant feast.
Emu. That's what he is.
Emo. Nice.
Anyway, go ahead.
That's good.
Yeah, just think about it.
And so we go back to Imu and Loki, and it looks like we're returning just in time to see the aftermath of Loki hitting Imu with the hammer. We don't actually see the impact, but the way that they are arranged in the frame, he's clearly just smashed Imu, and he's wondering what's wrong. Got distracted? Then you don't respect me enough! As he completely blasts Imu across the treetops, and it looks like he hits him into the trunk of Yggdrasil here with a big doom. Super awesome looking. Like you can see that he's got the little like smoke trail line in there, and then there's like rings of
for him
electricity.
Breaking the sound barrier.
So, yeah, something like that. Crackling around Emu's path, which is awesome, and then just big smoke explosion. And he does leave a little amygdala fault emu shape in the tree as he coughs and bro. And he looks Emu as he's recovering from this impact. He looks across the treetops and sees the silhouetted figure of Nidhogg, and he has the recognition, Nidhogger, as the dragon turns toward him, and his the light starts flashing in his mouth as he prepares to blast a Thorheim. But as he does that, Emu does a little hand jutsu with his two hands, his little okay signs, and right before the Thorheim hits him on the tree with a gigantic boom, and we pull back away again, and we see the little from the full height of Yggdrasil, the relatively little blast in the middle of the trunk. And there's smoke and flames all around, and we see that Imu has apparently absorbed it as he thinks to himself, "So thou art back." And
Love
he
the smirk on his
smiles.
face. He's so smug.
Yeah.
Shonen Jump
Great.
is off next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks with the
Yeah.
next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Am I the only one who thought that this really felt like a DBZ episode?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you're not the only one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
For
But,
good or
yeah,
for bad,
that's-
yes.
I will say that last attack that Loki does is 100% his like level 3 super in like a grand battle game.
Yeah. He used up his bars for that one.
Yeah.
So that does it for the chapter. Thoughts on this one? Ed, do you want to start?
Sure, I'm loving the characterization of Emu that we're getting here with him being this sort of edgy emu kid.
Emo.
No.
Emo.
Yeah.
Now I'm making the mistake.
Emo, if it was spelled IMO, that would be sweet potato.
Oh,
Japanese.
so if it is
That's
it
funny.
emu eating emo?
If it was EMU, it would be a
Nice.
bird.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, okay. So we're making Kirby
While riding an
draw.
Limu emu.
So wait, we're making
An
Kirby
emo,
draw.
emu.
So no, I need to write all this down. So Kirby has to draw an emu eating emo, right?
Emo, yeah.
On what was the second one?
On an
While
emu.
riding an emu,
Waiting for a Waymo.
waiting for a Waymo in Lima. No, that doesn't work.
I want to see emu being the emu. Like I want to see the bird with like the horns and the hair.
Okay, this is not. We're not doing like commissions right
He's got
now
the
for
wings.
Kirby,
And he's
like-
hanging out with Judge Ito.
with Ito.
Yeah,
Okay,
Not really any closer to understanding Emu's power, but getting more of his sort of worldview about the domination being like the heart of sort of at the heart of his worldview.
Mhm.
And it's like Loki correctly being like, God or devil, who cares? I smack you.
any other thoughts on?
I don't understand Emu's power, and it bugs me.
Yeah, me either.
I don't think anyone does. Yeah, I think Alex, wasn't that like your first take on it?
My take is Steven, no offense. I just have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
he's 15. He works at Hot Topic. He thinks he knows what he's talking about.
He's just like
Covenants
here,
and omens.
here are three things that only I know about, and I'm not really going to talk about.
Actually,
really,
Yeah, are
Sure. Has
are
anyone
these like
else seen
three
the movie
philosophical
Don't Be a Menace to
concepts?
South
Or is these
Central?
like
And he's like,
yeah.
the fuck
Yeah.
is he talking about?
Steven, maybe
That's-
this is
seriously.
maybe we should have Steven's translation corner here. Do you want to? Well, I don't know what even was.
Yeah, I'm
In
like,
dispute,
what do you want me
so.
to?
Okay, so here's,
Alex,
here's
the
Go-
three
go
things.
for
I think
it.
that's interesting.
all right. So he's basically like in this. I'm looking at the 8-9 spread here, and he's talking about basically corruption, covenants, and the power of Omen,
Right.
and he's basically giving definitions to all three
Right.
of these things, right? Now, and then he said these form the Trinity, known as Dominion. Now, is Dominion a
Domination.
Domination.
Sorry,
Sorry,
you're thinking
The
of
do-
I did
Virginia.
think
Yes,
I did
I'm
think
thinking
about
of Deep Space
Dominion.
Nine.
Yeah, I did think about Dominion too, but I went with Domination.
Okay, so let's sort of break this down.
Yeah, I agree.
So the Trinity is as thus: corruption, which is when power, when you get what you want power wise, like
Mhm.
without having to work for it,
Without
basically.
earning it, yeah.
Right. And then you have covenants, choosing servitude to better your goals. And then this is the one that like, and then I guess this is him sort of explaining his omen power, right? Is that what this is?
Kind of.
This
So,
last
yeah.
one, completely
Is the
yeah.
tricky one.
It is
Yeah.
tricky.
Part of it is so the omen thing. I don't know if you guys I literally have been so busy that I have not listened to last week's podcast. And I assume you guys wouldn't have known this, but maybe people mentioned it in the piece together. But like the omen, when Oda writes omen in these chapters, he writes it with this with these kanji that are pronounced maki, and it's like evil ki. It's like evil chi, evil aura basically, and so it's kind of like the demonic or magic or dark version
Ma
of
as in Majin.
Yes, yeah. Ma as in Majin.
Or Ma'o, or
Ma'o,
Daimao.
or
Yeah.
Akuma is like evil Ma. That's it's part of all these
Evil.
words, and so it is kind of like and one of the reasons why I'm glad that Oda gave it the name Omen, because if I had to call it Maki, it would be very hard to avoid like the Mario Wario comparisons where it just gets it feels very goofy, but like
it's like evil hockey.
it is evil
Like,
hockey. That's basically what it is.
Oh, okay.
Jesus. But that means hockey is good, inherently good. I don't
No,
understand.
it isn't. It isn't.
I don't think so.
Definitely
Yeah,
It's like light side, dark side.
not. But it isn't.
I don't know.
It
See,
isn't.
that's the thing. It's like
Or it's correct. It's corrupted hockey, or it's like
something like that.
I don't-
Maybe.
I think it's okay. Well,
it's
that's
like when you go to the dark world in Final Fantasy 3.
here's my crackpot theory. Like I've been saying that I think for sure Emu is otherworldly, or at the very least we know is that the devil's fruit. So I think he is
Right.
pulling on a energy that is outside of
Yeah.
the
Well, if the devil
usual.
created the devil fruits, who created the devil's fruit? I think I asked last week.
Yeah, and that's the chicken and the egg is the devil
Yeah,
and
sure.
the devil
God
fruit.
or devil.
The devil and the devil fruit.
And the correct answer is who gives a shit?
Yes, Loki did have that
Yeah,
right on the notes
so-
this week.
Right. And so what he did here is like when he does these three things where they're bolded in Japanese, it's like daraku, keiaku, chikara. And so chikara is power. But he wrote
like
chikara
Roger.
kind of a little bit. I
same
mean,
power.
it's the same, it's the you put three things in a list. But chikara meaning
Ending with-
strength. Chikara meaning strength, but then he put the maki, he put the omen kanji next to it. So he's talking about the omen. He's talking about these dark flames, this power, this magical power that he has. And he's referring to it as strength, as in terms of like as an elemental force that is part of this trinity of his demonic powers. And so that's why I wrote the power of omen, which it doesn't pop as well as just saying corruption and covenants, but it was kind of necessary to explain to both explain what he's talking about and also how he's talking about it.
Omen power.
Okay.
So
Well, it seems like it's the ability to absorb attacks and reflect it back on the person who attacks him. That's why it's his military might.
I don't know if that's what it is.
Maybe.
So military might, in this case, is this the same sort of like the way it's used, the way that Capone Bedge uses the term military might?
It's
Or I was thinking,
it's Gunji
crocodile.
Ryoku, which is like or you're right, yeah. Oda's used that before. How all of those things fit together, I don't know. I don't think that there's like necessarily you just missed this angle in the translation. I think this is supposed to be kind of cryptic still, in terms of what Oda's intentions are.
I think it's probably pretty safe to assume that Oda knows what he's saying, and he's just only giving us a trickle of information.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so those three things out of the way, that's the trinity that we call domination. Now, can you explain
I do
what
like where
led you
put
to domination?
I was going to say I do like where the hyphen ended up there because the Domi Reversi kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, I mean that's like literally it's shihai, which is like to control or dominate. And I do think, if I remember correctly, was that part of the Domi reverse? It might have been in the kanji that he also used with Domi reversi or something. But it's clearly like his theme, right, is domination, is being able to control others and tell them what to do. Obviously, right. With the Domi reversi, that's like first and foremost. And so this is kind of him giving his like philosophical treatise on like how these things fit together to form his power in a way that isn't. I think it's like Oda is doing this so that he doesn't have him go like, I'm Imu, I have the powers of the blah blah fruit. This is, I can do this because I'm a devil man. Because he obviously doesn't want to do that.
The 4Kids version of Imu.
Right. That was what he would do if Imu showed up in like volume 8 or something. But
right.
Here we are today, and I think he's tried to move past that construction.
He's got the golden eye fruit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the devil man fruit. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, first of all, Domination would be the name of Emu's Manosphere podcast. But the thing that. But I guess, so then like going from there, the other thing that I'm trying to parse, and this is probably just confusion due to the fact that we haven't seen, Void Century flashback shit yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the 12-13 spread where, he's like, when he says domination is the only true bliss in the world. Mm-hmm. And then he has his little, like, isn't that right, Joy Boy? And he's freaking out. Yeah. Like,
he's reliving a very irritating conversation he had with Joy Boy in the past.
Sure. Maybe. But when he says domination is the only true bliss in the world, what does that mean exactly, like, translation-wise? Is it is it sort of like Pirate King, like that who is the most free is the Pirate King kind of thing, or is it?
Yeah, it's like a philosophical end. It's like
I think so.
Well,
yeah,
I guess bliss is the question here,
a goal towards utopia.
It's bliss.
Yeah. So he says the bliss or the I don't know what's another word to describe this, the happiness.
Utopia. Like Crocodile used the word utopia.
Yeah, but he's saying like the bliss of the world. So yo no kofuku. So yo would be world, and kofuku is like happiness, or I settled it as bliss. And he is saying that it is domination that is bliss in the world. Now, obviously, I think that's. I think he's saying that in a very self-centered way. Obviously, of like everyone is blissful if they just do what I say. Yeah. Like you don't have to think about it anymore. I will tell you what to do, which I think fits kind of his position in the story.
Yeah, he would press the red button.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, like,
I mean, that is kind of what religion is, isn't it?
Sort of. Ignorance is bliss, and as long as somebody is telling me what to do and I don't have to worry about it, then that's great.
Yeah. I mean, that is our version of Emu's. That's what he would describe religion as.
Sure. Okay. I guess
he is a cutting edge,
very edgy,
edgy atheist.
Okay. That's I don't know. All the translation questions I had about that stuff.
And so maybe
it's kind of an edgy atheist view of religion. Submit.
And then maybe like what he's thinking about Joy Boy, or remembering from Joy Boy saying, isn't that right? Is, he was saying, the man who is the most free is, the happiest, or that's true bliss, is being free or whatever. And so he's like kind of trying to taunt his memory of Joy Boy by saying, no, domination isn't that right, Joy Boy?
So that's why he's constructed his worldview around being the exact opposite of what Joy Boy says.
And I interpret it as like, like he, like many other people, are trying to fulfill the same, whatever Joy Boy represents to them, and his interpretation is, Joy Boy is dominant, therefore dominance is the truth of the universe.
That's possible as well, and would be interesting. Like we don't. I've been trying to imagine what is this flashback going to look like once we get there, and I think the fact that Imu is a character interacting on a personal basis with Joy Boy, presumably, it creates a very interesting dynamic. And also just opens up narratively a lot. I also am thinking that the drums of subjugation may indeed be the drums of domination. Like, everything does seem to be inverse Luffy here, in color, in like the black flames versus the white.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
I don't know if they're flames, but whatever.
Using the like sort of the bone balloon technique to make himself bigger.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah,
that is
the
very
self-inflation.
similar.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that as well. It's like, oh, you know what? It actually works too, because it's like the edgy cartoon versus the Looney Tunes.
Wow.
Guys, this is anime. It's not your grandma's.
I'm
cartoon.
trying to think of a good. I'm trying to think of a good
Imumé?
example. Imumé.
The movie
Yeah,
Heavy
there it
Metal?
is.
Hold on. If it's Imumé, then it's also dominant animation. Like,
There it is. Dominaman. How
God,
do I spell that?
Japanimation. It's called Japanimation.
Culture domination.
It's Afghanistan animation.
So
That's right.
it's Luffy tunes or like just something simple like that, and yeah,
Luffy Tunes versus
Luffy tunes versus Imumé.
Imumé. Imumé. This is all very funny.
They're
This
both.
is very silly.
Oh my god.
This is such a silly shit.
It is stupid, but I'm trying to think of what is the most emo. God, I'm going to be doing this forever now. What is the most emo, like, badass show that exists that's like kind of the opposite of Looney Tunes?
Death Note.
Death Note. I like Death Note a lot, but there are. Yeah, Death Note is pretty
I don't know.
close. I mean,
Jujutsu.
he would definitely really enjoy Death Note and think that Light
Eating a
Yagami is
potato
a
chip?
really good guy.
On a chair, yeah. Sitting weird, like nobody sits on a chair like that.
No, he'd be eating the potato chip, an emo chip.
The sweet potato chip.
We're really
Fuck me.
gonna put Kirby through the ringer
Yeah.
this week. I feel terrible.
We just constructed our own mythology around this.
I'll eat an emo chip.
Jesus.
Okay.
Ed, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I've had enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Does amuse me that Emu seems to have. I don't know if he was. I wonder if Emu and Joy Boy were acquainted prior to becoming rivals or enemies. They seem to like. Like, isn't that right,
Yeah.
Joy Boy? Like they were friends at one point in
They're
time.
friends, yeah.
Yeah,
Or just like
I mean, they're laughing at a
neutral
joke
or-
together. They might hate each other, but the joke that was told was just a
really good joke,
objectively good joke. Yeah, it was something about eating an emo chip.
A joke that would have got him canceled now, but it was really funny back in the
900
You
years
couldn't tell
ago,
that
though.
joke today.
God. Joy Boy could not tell that joke today. No. What the hell were we doing? Sam, thoughts on the chapter?
All right. I don't know what the consensus ended up being on Emu's design. I don't think I like it. I think there's
I
too
don't know
much
if you
going
ever
on.
Talked about it.
I think it looks a little silly. It looks a little non-Oda in ways that I
Like-
don't really like.
Are you saying it's like someone wearing virtual glasses on a Zoom call?
No, that sounds cool.
I stand correct.
Like I just have a hard time believing that we're gonna like leave this arc feeling like, and like I guess I'm just sort of leaning on the side of like Emu is going to be kind of a deceptively non-consequent, or he's going to be like a victim of an even larger story than himself. Like he's going to get killed by Blackbeard or something like that. That's the hill I'm dying on.
Blackbeard Chow, yeah.
Yeah, no, I buy
I do
into that.
think that this relationship with Joy Boy is definitely interesting. I definitely took this as, Emu sees Joy Boy as something aspirational too, except he's seeing the
dark side.
domination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like if
That's why I said he
somebody
seems
like
to have
Luffy,
constructed his worldview around being the opposite of that.
well, like I think the idea, like I imagine somebody like Joy Boy is somebody who is so free that it's kind of like morally irrelevant to put him on that on the political spectrum like that. Like he's just kind of doing whatever he wants, and like Luffy, just kind of doing whatever he wants, and good and bad things come of it. But it's sort of up to interpretation to decide if that's if the intent is actually moral or not. So Imu sees whatever Joy Boy represents as aspirational, except he's deciding that that power and dominance are like kind of like the path to true bliss, to true enlightenment, to true joy, if you will. And I am finding the Luffy stuffing his face with food in the middle of a battle, like as a way of like kind of like keeping him off to the side for a chapter or two, is getting very repetitive between the arcs.
Agreed there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Anything else, Sam?
I think that just about does it.
Before I move on, Alex, I was trying to think of the DS9 quote, and thank God for the Mornicorder, the Frankiac for DS9. I keep thinking of the Joy Boy. So this is only for Alex and anyone else out there who knows DS9. I was thinking of this dynamic between Joy Boy and Imu as when Cisco is having that conversation about taking down the Romulans. Bringing the Romulans into the Alliance, and the whole thing is, do you think they'll sit idly by while you keep your chaotic empire right next to their perfect order? And that's kind of how I feel like I see Imu and Joy Boy. Like Imu,
that's in Pale Moonlight, the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Pale Moonlight. Sorry, it says it right there. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't.
With Garrick.
With a lot of fun Garrick. Yeah.
No, is he's talking to Garrick?
No, he's talking to he's talking to Dax.
For the Romulan.
No, they were doing Dax. The role play thing. Remember, where it's like, I'm going to pretend to be a Romulan delegate.
That's right.
But it's apropos though, because it's the opposite of domination is freedom, and you're not if you can't keep your order, which is what he wants. We talked about it's a selfish order. Much like the change.
But I think from an Emu's perspective, domination is how you create freedom. It's how you guarantee freedom for yourself.
No, it's how he creates his freedom.
Right.
Which is very different. Like that's not how. I don't think that's probably not how Joy Boy defined freedom, and that's probably. I don't think anyone else is going to define freedom as your freedom, Imu, and no one else's. Because that's what domination is. That's what authoritarianism is. That's what that kind of that's what control is. It's I want my freedom to do whatever the hell I want.
But if the proletariat dominated the bourgeoisie, wouldn't that be a type of freedom?
Thank you. You mean the Marie-Geoisie?
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's actually
that's what it's based off of, isn't it?
I know,
yeah.
I have to be reminded of that.
Mary Jersey.
It's still Mary Joa to me. It's still Mary Joa to me.
I do hate the way it's spelled, but it makes sense.
Yes. We should be pronouncing it like that, probably, but no one does.
Joie.
So we're not.
I mean, we say Mary Joa.
Mary
Joie.
Yeah, but do they say bourgeois? I guess you could say that, right? Bourgeois.
I say bourgeois.
Bourgeoisie. Steven.
Bourgeois is like the adjective version.
Yeah. Did they talk about like people from Mary Joie as being like very Margie or something?
Margie.
Bougie.
Margie.
Hey Mooch, I love what you do with your hair.
Oh, check out my new fish bowl. It's like real Moogie of you.
Moogie.
Yeah. Sam, did you have Moogie?
Moogie.
Or DS9.
Moogie.
Did you have anything else, Sam?
Oh, I guess like I did have a stray thought wanting to connect it back to like Crocodile. Like I think Crocodile
you mentioned that,
was also on a very similar mental capacity. Like when he lost to Whitebeard, he decided that it's like he both did and did not give up on becoming Pirate King. He just like decided that leading a very strong, having a very strong military force was going to be his path to it, instead of doing it the traditional swashbuckling pirate way, which he lost at.
I do think it's interesting you bring that up, and we think about like, oh yeah, this trinity of domination that Emu's talking about, how you can take these three things: corruption, covenants, and I guess omen, and sort of
power. I guess is also
power. You can sort of glom them onto any character in the series and what their motivations are, and the one character, and I'm sorry that if I'm ceding your time at all, Sam, but the one character that I'm a little worried for now is Zoro. For a second, I thought because he got hit with the omen thing that like, oh yeah, the envy that seeks to achieve one's goals. Like Zoro wants to get stronger so he can be, the world's greatest swordsman and help Luffy become Pirate King. But what end will he go to get there, and what goal and what route has he gone to that we don't know? Because I keep thinking about the fucking Grim Reaper situation at the end of Wano.
Yeah.
And this is just right now, what I'm about to say is a total result of me buying into apparently what is a very popular fan theory that Mihawk's full name is Nerona Mihawk. And
what?
And that
this is a popular fan theory?
Because they have the same eyes or something like that.
They have the same eyes.
Yeah. And if Zoro trained with this guy, then maybe his eyes fucking, I don't know, corrupted by Moo Moo. I don't know.
They don't
it's stupid.
Really
it's
have
very
the
stupid.
Same eyes though. Like they both have piercing eyes.
I want to know what color.
It would be kind of crazy if like that was like this whole time we're like not thinking about Mihawk's familial relationship to anyone at all. Like this far in, it's like, oh, he's.
He shouldn't be related to anybody. That would be better.
I mean,
that would be way better. That'd be really great.
Just be fucking Dracula.
He is fucking Dracula, man.
Dracula, yeah.
But what is
born
Dracula
in a Dracula factory?
If not a guy with a devil tail.
That's right.
Does Sam, anything else?
No, I ceded my time like several minutes ago.
I forgot.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. Our discussions about the kind of, I don't know, the Tao of Emu here, the philosophy going on.
The art of Emu.
That's been interesting. I think my takeaway on this chapter, and I did kind of mention it too, is that which is kind of, I think, part of what Alex's consternation was, which is, I'm thinking about like, how has Oda kind of delivered a lot of kind of basic exposition for the characters, and especially for the powers. And early on, it would be like, oh, I ate a devil fruit, I ate this fruit, and that gives me these powers. And you could tell that after a while, I think he got tired of that construction, and he felt like that was too, like, I don't know, it was too like elementary, manga 101, and he wanted to be a little bit more nuanced with it. And then we started seeing a lot of like, oh, here's the Oda box with this character's name, and it just says what the fruit power is underneath. And I feel like we're getting close enough to the end now where like every time there's a new character with a mysterious power, he just wants to hold it as close to his chest as possible. And you end up with all of these really weird, obfuscations of like whose power. Because like, I don't know, did we get the confirmation with Loki that it was like the dragon fruit model Nidhogg, or is it just because people keep calling him Nidhogg?
No, I mean they didn't say.
Well, because we had that discussion,
but they had the discussion.
I think they did call it dragon fruit.
They narratively
mythical dragon fruit.
Yeah,
was it a mythical?
Actually, they just said it
Nidhogger,
because Shanks and Gabon were talking about it with
because we had that discussion a few weeks ago about like what's the difference between the dragon fruits and the fish fruit.
Okay, but we didn't. Oh, that's right. But we did not get like, is there a devil fruit with Ratatosk and Ragnir.
Yeah, has been annoying me. Yeah.
Right. And that, and that goes together with
that could be an SBS answer for him, though. We don't know
probably.
We don't know how much he cares about that. Yeah.
And that goes into like, okay, well, when Loki showed up first, we knew he had some kind of weird lightning related power because he caused lightning, right? And then, it's not until later that we find out, like, okay, we get part of the picture and that's not really the full picture. And then he fills in another part of it too. And so this, obviously with Imu being such a central villain, Oda is under I think even more pressure to be very coy with the power and how it works and only reveal things in dribs and drabs. And this, like, his explanation of like, well, let me kind of put these things that you've seen me doing into a different context without actually telling you once again, like, how exactly they work. It feels kind of, it felt like Vegapunk saying, oh, the devil fruits are just a desire, a twinkle in someone's eye, sort of a thing where it's like, okay, yeah, that is true, but it's probably not really the answer that people want to hear, which is like, what exactly is the deal? And how does this compare? How does this relate to other, powers that we've seen in the series and whatnot? And so I feel like that part is kind of uniquely frustrating. I will also say too, like, just rereading the chapter and stuff, I am reminded that the page where he does talk about corruption and covenants and the power of woman, I remember being like, as I was working on it, being kind of frustrated because like even the descriptive sentences that he gives, like I couldn't get them to be like the same like tense for each one. Like they didn't all fit together into a nice like clean pattern. And that was partially like because of the way Oda wrote them, and partially because, again, I'm on the clock. We don't have a lot of time to do this stuff. So just as a note to myself, I'm like, yeah, I might, with the benefit of hindsight, be able to massage that a little bit into something that at least that's a little cleaner, because I'm not super happy with how it reads right now. But beyond that, I think the tricky part, and I think Zach, you were kind of hinting at it already. The Dragon Ball Z aspect of it, like I feel like this might be the first time, even more so than like Gear 5 Luffy or something, where like seeing Loki and Imu, which at this point feels like canonically like the two most powerful people we've ever seen in One Piece, right? Am I alone in of taking that away from this? It does feel like this is the point where this is like, it feels like it's Goku versus Frieza and all the other characters that we know and love. It's just Kame Sennin and like Bulma and everyone going like, oh shit, what's going to happen now? We can't do shit about this. It does have that feeling of like, oh, well, nothing else really matters anymore. And I know that's not true, but it kind of feels that way. And that is something that I feel like up until this point, for as long of a story as it's been, Oda's been really good at kind of avoiding giving that impression. And I don't know if that's just because like he's this is a sign of how close he is to the end, where he's like, well, shit just needs to get really crazy now in order for it to seem cooler than anything we've seen before. Or, if he is kind of like, executing the long game that he's been building towards. But it does kind of feel like another one of the, like we're in the middle of another one of those kind of inflection points where it's like, okay, well, here's here was One Piece before this point, and then here's One Piece after this point, and they're not really the same thing anymore. And, we've had those before, but this is definitely, kind of like the most extreme version of it, I feel like. So, yeah, I feel trepidatious about it. Like, there's a lot of really cool and impressive stuff that's happening in this chapter, but I'm also a little worried where I feel like, I hope I don't look back on this and be like, well, this is where it wasn't the One Piece that I love anymore, because it could turn into that. We never know.
I feel that same trepidation. I know we'll get to it and piece together a little bit more, but someone mentioning whose avatar I could picture, but I cannot conjure the name up. But the fact that this is not, that they missed that old One Piece, and we've talked about this a lot, and because it's really felt viscerally true since the end of Wano, at least. I feel like certainly in Egghead, and certainly now Elbaf, like in particular, we've had moments of that. I feel like, and you know, I guess you have to do the thought exercise, and by you, I mean royal you, like myself included. How, if you went in a time machine 20 years ago, how would you have wanted Oda to wrap this up? Would you have wanted something smaller scale, or would like what is like the best case scenarios you could think up to have ended or wrapped up the story of One Piece with, or at least what kind of like lore drops, so to speak, would you have wanted or not wanted? What questions then would you have wanted answered or not? Oda, I think, did not have all of this in mind, but also, I've been burned by Lost, and I will always be thinking of that as kind of my what's the opposite of the North Star, the South Star? It's like kind of like, look, I love Lost still, but there's like that last season does have some really fun, and it gets really shonen-y in the way that this is. Like, it's feeling reminiscent, like, not to spoil Lost 20 years later, or however long it's been, 10, 15. But like, it definitely starts getting metaphysical. It starts getting way more not even sci-fi, like fantasy, like it like goes into a completely different. The thing I liked about that series was the magical realism of it. I mean, this is not One Piece. This does not describe One Piece. But when you start getting answers, you have to kind of push the envelope of the genre you've been in, which for Oda is a very, very, very broad universe that he's created. But now he's got to, like, it's time for him to knock the walls down.
I think about it a lot too, just in terms of like the broader conversation. And I feel like I've mentioned this before, but like sometimes there are certain outlets where you can see like people's opinions kind of en masse. And so one of the things is like Amazon reviews, right? Like if you go on Amazon Japan and you look at like One Piece volumes, like literally every single one going back to probably like Marineford or something, is like you look at it and it might have like 4 stars or like 3.5 stars or whatever, but the top rated comments for everyone, and this is again going back at least like 15-20 years, is like, old One Piece was better, like it's hard, I can't tell what's going on, like it's so scratchy, like he's not just draw it like the old way, Oda, like it used to be good and it's not good anymore, who are all these characters, blah blah blah. And I understand I understand like where those people are coming from, because they have nostalgia for like One Piece when it was truly like ascendant in terms of like charting a new path that no one had ever seen before, and was at the forefront of the entire nation of Japan's mind, in a way that it is no longer. But I think about like, what would it look like if One Piece, in volume 115, like if he basically stopped evolving as an artist and like trying new things and was just trying, and it still looked like Enies Lobby or whatever. And I feel like it would have become stagnant, like very easily. It would have felt like every introduction would have felt like, I've seen this before. I've seen this character introduced this way before. And I feel like the evolution
you're describing.
Yeah. But the evolution in Oda's style comes from him, experimenting and trying things and having that voice in the back of his head that's like, well, I don't want it to look like this, or I've done this before, and I want to do something to, to satisfy that voice in the back of his head that's like, yes, you've done this before. And, so I feel like it's inevitable that it would have turned out something like, if not like exactly like this, it would have been a controversial evolution over time, where by necessity, like he's changed just because like he can't go back to the old, mindset that he was in. He can only move forward through, whatever influences he's working with. And, at some point, I don't know if that means like it's inevitable that there's going to be a point where people like the critical mass of people are like, this isn't cool anymore, or if it it becomes like, well, it's still cool, but it's just not the same series. I guess time will tell with that, but it's definitely something that I grapple with when I'm like looking at the long run of where One Piece used to be, where it is now, and how I feel about it.
100%.
There was a fascinating,
Sam,
like viral tweet recently where somebody was like sharing around an old like forum post from like fresh off of Enies Lobby ending in the manga. Mm-hmm. And it was like somebody ranting about how One Piece isn't as good as it used to be anymore. Like they were unsatisfied with Enies Lobby, and they were talking about old One Piece and new One Piece like exactly the way people do now. Yeah. So like that really like puts it like in perspective, like how elastic that really is.
I think a lot of people are like, man, Dressrosa, remember those were the days.
Oh, I mean, there are a lot of people. There are
outside of our bubble, like Dressrosa is a pretty beloved arc.
No, it is. Yeah, no, I mean, I know that was a lot of people's first like week to week arc.
And there are great things about Dressrosa. I think we've talked about that to death, though. Alex,
I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about Dressrosa, but I will talk about Alabasta and how for me, like Alabasta is still like for me.
Well, but that's like the example of the stagnancy kind of thing.
Platonic ideal, yeah.
Because it feels like a redo of that, but we already had that. Why do this again?
Yes, this in particular is... the question you pose, like, what would you have liked to see? Like, for me, I'm like, right off the bat, I'm like, I can't answer that. Because what I want to see is whatever the fuck Oda had cooked up for the end of One Piece. Like that's all. Yeah. I don't care how stupid or derivative it is at this point. Like I've followed the series for over 20 years, week to week. Yeah. And I'll be damned if I'm just like, I just want to know like what that last panel is that he's had in his, like, no matter what, no matter how we get there, we're going to get to his intended ending. And that's all I kind of give a shit about. I'm not saying that I'm not like, I'm not saying that there won't be a point, or there can't be a point where I'm not going to say, man, what happened to this series? Because that could very well happen. Like, to bring up Dressrosa, one of my most maligned arcs, because of where, like, we did this week to week, and I just felt like it was a slog, a retread that had too many ingredients in the broth. That's really my biggest problem with it. Yeah. And it's got great highs and some terrifically bad lows, and it is what it is. But that's the thing. Like, I'm always going to try and give Oda the benefit of the doubt to stick the landing, even if it's an arc that I don't necessarily like while I'm in it.
Agreed.
This stuff, and I'm sorry if I'm ceding your time here, Stephen. My big point that I wanted to make about all of this is that I think at the end of the day, this arc is going to seem like a very disjointed one to me if we're going to get into the whole, arc ranking rigmarole, because
I think that
right now
the arc rankings almost become like less relevant as time goes on, because it just gets messy.
This arc, Egghead broke it, I think, almost completely.
I think it did, yeah.
And this, have to be honest about it, and this arc obliterated it. Yes. Because I think like at this point, yes, God Valley, and I think at this point we're going to get, like, it seems like we're on the precipice of getting a Emu Joy Boy flashback. Maybe not
precipice might be
right away.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could very well do it this arc.
Yes,
because
he could.
And specifically because of this chapter, and how I'm still like, okay, so Emu's making all these references to this and that and the other, and I'm sure it's going to hit pretty like hard once we get to that flashback and once we pull all the pieces together. But until we do, like, maybe this is how he's going to leave, a mystery dangling. Like, we're going to finish this fight, I guess.
It'll be like that little glimpse of Kaido's flashback right as we're beating Kaido.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm sure that, like, you know, what could very well happen here is that, like, okay, well, Nidhogger has the upper hand. He's going to get bodied next chapter and either, you know, get kidnapped or taken over or maybe even killed by... I don't think killed. I don't know if he would kill Loki so soon after introducing him.
And asking him to become part of the crew.
Maybe his arc is complete. I don't know. But maybe taking away his fruit power or something to make him less OP. And that way, you know, Emu's got his pet back or whatever the fuck. And then Emu goes off on his merry way. And then we start entering the final saga, as it were. And then our crew has to pick up the pieces, figure out who this guy is and how we, you know, what their next steps are. And then we get into, I guess, Gunko Brook flashback stuff, because that's definitely, I feel like, definitely going to happen this arc. We're going to get another little flashback. I don't know how little or big it is, but there's going to be some sort of Gunko Brook reckoning here. Now, if we have Void Sentry shit in this arc, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are going to say Elbaf is the best arc. It's peak. It has all this great lore and great fights and yada yada. Barely featuring the Straw Hats, I might add.
I disagree with that, but yeah.
Which is not... Disagree with what? That barely features the Straw Hats?
I think the flashbacks are kind of taking away from the fact that I actually think this arc has done a good job putting the Straw Hats front and center in a way that
so
Oda
far
has not. Yes. So aside from the
so far.
flashbacks,
Obviously
this
right
chapter
now,
is actually this is actually an exception. This chapter, but Luffy's in it. Eating.
Luffy's poised. Looks like he's poised to fight.
Yes,
to fight Emu, but at what point in his power?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Loki's really giving Emu what for here. Like he's made him bleed his own blood. You know, he's he's going like, you know, and I feel like if we get another long ass flashback, like right now, on one hand I'll be like, great. Because we need to see Void Sentry stuff in order to complete the series. We need all this context as to where the end game is. On the other hand, I just want to be in the present so bad right now.
This is mindfulness.
That I think, I'm scared that we're going to enter another flashback and I'm going to be fatigued. Does that make sense?
It 100% makes sense, and it's like hits a few points that. I really appreciate our like broader discussion on like the end game of the series. Like this feels like kind of a fulcrum point to me where we are. This is
all
now.
Stuff we need. This is all stuff we need for the end game of the series. We need to be able to experience what we just watched. Like Emu versus Loki has been a very cool thing to watch.
Yes,
and we definitely need to see these two, you know, juggernauts at their
DBZ
peak.
It out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it was really fun to watch this, to read this. Now, what comes after this is you know, I don't know about anyone's guess, but like there's a couple different ways we can go about that. I've been saying that this is, I think, is Shabandi 2.0, where everybody's going to suffer a great loss, and then we're going to have to figure out how we get stronger, because it's a shonen manga at the end of the day. And everybody's got to obviously be on the level, or at the very least, Zoro and Sanji have to be on the level where they have to be sort of at least toe to toe with this guy. I mean, obviously they can take a hit from him, and you know, land a blow, but it's not enough. I feel like this is the one chapter where I'm like totally cool about talking about power scaling. By the way,
well, because this is I'd say this is like the first chapter of One Piece that like really, besides like that one where they had that stupid power system in Enies Lobby.
Doriki, right?
Yeah, that one.
Or did they call it something in English?
It's power levels, isn't it?
I don't know.
It was just called power levels.
I thought they did say Doriki, but like he only says it once, like in the series. So
in the Viz manga, they just said power levels.
Oh, well, it's only used once anyway.
My point is that it does fit this chapter. Like this is like the only chapter I could think of where it feels like this is what I loved about DBZ as a kid, to be honest, you know, like
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're compelling fights. Like
it's a fun fight. And it has One Piece elements to it. There's still a chain chomp.
As long as
a
I'm
squirrel hammer.
Right. And as long as I'm talking about this, like, I want to talk about the art briefly. Like, yeah, it's this. I feel like the action is pretty easy to follow in this chapter, and it's fun.
It is.
It's fun action. You get to see the
heart-pounding.
You get to see the. There's so many wind-ups and follow-throughs that it's just a fun chapter to read. You can see, like, how he's blocking the hammer shot. You're seeing how he's staggered, but he's already got the hammer wound up. It's very, very cool shit.
My only complaint is the giant thing. I don't know if you were going to say.
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say the giant thing. At least he has Loki saying like you can turn giant to make it obvious. But then on that same thing, after they smash they smash their tips, and then there's the panel where he's like. Is he flipping? I don't know what Imu is doing.
Yes.
He's like doing a quadruple.
Yes, he's definitely flipping because he's doing you can see Oda's classic the little whirly thing that Sanji usually does.
I feel like that should have been the focal element of the panel, and I don't. It's like the fifth thing that I noticed in the panel.
Yes,
I felt that bit was a little confusing, but otherwise,
this is a great example of Oda just. The issue I think Oda has had, so we talked about like the fact that we don't want him to be stagnant. However, he sometimes, you could feel it, is rushing through things. Either because of time, because he's like, I think trying to live a life outside his manga a little bit these days, like more so than he did back in the early aughts. And you could definitely feel like, this should have been a whole page. This should have been an extra page, this part of the fight.
Well, another thing about this, though, this fight that's... Yeah. Well, the biggest thing to me about this fight that's, like, so compelling, too, is the banter. I mean, you have him, talking about the power of the Trinity or whatever, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. But then you have...
Glad someone mentioned it.
Yeah, but then Loki's retort is such a fucking cool like you root for this character. Like, I didn't ask you, I didn't give a shit about.
That was such
this.
A great, that was
when
really
he's like,
great.
"Shall I give you the power of God?" Like I gave everybody else, and he's like, "No,
ask.
I don't." Yeah, like why would I want to even talk to you?
Yeah,
like it's such a cool thing.
Yeah, Loki is really a great example of like the reader come to life. Like this is what I would say.
Loki is a cool character.
Yeah, Loki I think has definitely been proving himself to the reader specifically.
Yes.
And I think to myself, like, what do I like about Loki that I don't like about Trafalgar Law or Sabo?
Like, what makes him not? Yeah, I don't.
What makes him not a Poochie? And I think it's because there hasn't been any sort of like, there hasn't been anything dangling really with him. Nothing's been really lingering.
He has
from
more
the
personality. I'm gonna just say it.
From the get go, he already had more personality than either of those characters.
He did. He's fun.
Well, I will say, with the exception of Sabo, because we met him when he was a kid.
Yeah, Sabo has personality. It's just how he's been used recently. Well, he's fine. I have like no particular qualms about Sabo except in the amount of merchandise he's on. But that's not Oda's fault.
He's meant for that.
Alex,
I'm really looking.
Oh, it's kind of Oda's fault.
Yeah, I mean.
It's absolutely Oda's fault. Are you kidding? Anyway, that's all I've got really. I'm glad to read this through again today because it's just like this is really a fun one to read. And it reminds me of why I like reading shonen manga in the first place, like battle shonen manga, because I feel like we haven't gotten a really good fight in a really long time.
I just realized also that this fight is happening at a school, so that's fun. Or outside of one.
Well, kinda outside.
No,
of
it
one,
is.
Yeah.
You can see in
it's
page.
Well, that is very funny too because they're both basically teenagers. They're both all right, outside, and everybody's like gathering outside the lunchroom or whatever to comment on it.
That first page, that square off is like, I mean, it's great banter, but it's because it feels so teenagery, which it is a shonen manga. Like the true definition of shonen. Like this feels. Yeah. I will say this chapter feels more shonen than almost any other chapter of One Piece I could think of. Like,
so I'm like on the last spread right now, and I
Yeah.
just kind of glanced at it, and I wanted to bring up that Sai in our Discord talked about, like, why are you smiling, Emu? Your smile is stupid.
Yeah.
And it is a very stupid looking smile.
Yes.
Because of the weird lips. But I read, like, he goes, so thou art back, and I read thou art so back.
Oh, Nidhogger. Thou art.
Yeah.
Anything else, Alex?
No, that's it.
The one thing I wanted to add to our, like, you know, this being kind of like the crux of, you know, us heading into the end game. I mean, I feel like we've been heading there for a while, but it really feels like we are moving the dial a lot more. Is that the thing about answering questions and the thing about wrapping up some of these plot lines is it's going to piss someone off. Like, you can't, you know, make a decision where everyone is going to be happy, and that kind of decision is boring. That's not why we read One Piece anyway. Like, that's like something a big studio does at the end of their movie or something. Like, I want to make the audience happy. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Oda is just so not that person. So we collectively, as a fandom, are going to be disappointed by something. I think Steven, you were saying something like, you know, at the end of the day, people will be like, oh, someone is going to say, I missed One Piece being like this, like X, or like it was back in the Egghead days long ago, where someone might be listening to this episode in 2046 and saying that as the series is about to wrap up in that year. But like, at the end of the day, I agree with Alex too. Like, we are in this, you know, whether we like it or not, we are on this ride. I'm going to see the ride to the end. I'm here, even if I don't end up liking it. That said, I don't want this to sound like I am not liking it. I am very much enjoying it. I think the cryptic aspect that Steven hit on, which I think is like this untranslatable, to be fair, like the word Nakama. It's just this like untranslatable thing because we don't have the full context to it, unlike the word Nakama. I like appreciate where Oda's coming from, because I think what he is doing as an author, to kind of combine these two conversations here, is he is trying to keep the reader on his side, like the full readership on his side as much as possible, by revealing only little tiny bits of things and waiting to like actually give us a thing that is going to have potentially negative reactions from someone. Like, there's definitely this part of him that's like, it's not people pleasing. It's like, he wants to live in the moment, I think, for as long as possible. Like, the reason One Piece has gone on for 27 plus years is because Oda really enjoys drawing and writing the series. And there's definitely a part of him, I have to imagine, that's like, I don't really want to end this now. I want to draw this out. But that he also knows that he can't, and that would be, you know, he talks about how his characters kind of do their own thing. And Akane this week, I think, is a really good example of probably Oda's creative process. Like, kind of just letting the story do its thing. And I think Oda is at that point where it really does feel like, I don't know if we're at the end of the story. I've thought since the beginning of Elbaf, the fact that we got like chapter 1138, the 3 world thing, the Harelik thing, the thing with the library, these really big items, and no pun intended there with the giants, but like, the fact that we had all of that set up at the beginning makes it narratively more cohesive if we do get the Joy Boy Emu flashback at the end of this. Like,
we should. I mean, I think that if he's going to put it anywhere, this is probably the place to do it.
Or at the very end. Like, is it
or
an
at the
epilogue?
very end.
Like, is that the very, very, very end. The thing is, he has
Like
been really
bookending.
teasing Joy Boy.
Bookending this, yeah.
Well, like, do we need to know? This is the question he's probably in. Do we need to know the story of Joy Boy and Emu before we get into the end of this? Like, Luffy isn't going to know or care. We know that. But, like, will it be a cathartic experience for the reader to know that? The answer is probably yes. We don't know for sure, but it's probably yes. But it also might be a good bookend, like, seeing that previous generation after we have seen these events unfold that have turned the world upside down. Yeah, I expected this to actually be a quick manga recap, which was really on me. I always get tricked by that. I did really enjoy this chapter. It was a lot of fun. It is one of those that felt really quick. The power that lurks within all things is probably one of the bigger that's the one I'm like, I want an answer from that sooner rather than later. I was thinking the Big Mom stuff with gigantifying. I mean, that's been going on since like Punk Hazard, that kind of like what is within the people of this world that creates a power to turn giant. Like, I'm really wondering, it's obviously cryptic and nebulous, but like, how does that square into the rest of the plot? That one is a really fascinating little drop of, I don't want to say lore, but of future, of squaring a lot of stuff we've seen thus far into the current arc. I don't know if there's much else I want to say, and I'm sure we got pieced together asking us more questions. So I'm going to leave it there. Any other final thoughts?
Just to go back to something you were saying about the impossibility of pleasing everyone, and like what are the expectations of older fans or people who have been around long enough, and just to kind of illustrate the impossibility of it is, I think in order to truly, if it were to truly be something that satisfies everyone, it would have to have something where, the answer has to be in front. Like, he has to just change our perspective some tiny little bit on all these things. This is talking about like, what's the D, what is the ancient kingdom? Like, how do all these hints that have been in, throughout the past, how do they get revealed in a way that makes it feel like all of the time spent was worth it waiting to find out? And it has to be something that, like, it's been under our noses this entire time and we just never realized it. And he's just opening, he's just pulling the curtain. He's adjusting our perspective some tiny bit, and no one ever guessed it. Millions of people reading this story, and all the things that we've been following for so long suddenly take on a new meaning. And like, when you start laying out all of that stuff, it really does sound like that focus group thing in The Simpsons, where it's like, you want the story to be relatable and down to earth while also having magic powers and swarming with crazy robots and all of that stuff. And
that is One Piece, to be fair. You're describing One Piece.
He's getting us there.
He is getting us there.
Well, yeah.
I want to ask, like, is there, without spoiling it, is there like a series or a piece of fiction that you're like, you feel it has like a universally praised ending and is also like artistically adventurous and like it really Ping Pong is I don't remember the ending specifically.
I don't remember the ending either.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not anything special. The ending isn't anything special, but it's a very nice one.
Well, I mean, what about Full Metal specifically? Like,
what about Full Metal Alchemist?
That's the one I was thinking of. It is a little like, I don't want to say what it is. I have to read the manga. I think I've only experienced Brotherhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, isn't that surprising?
You heard it here, folks. The host of the Full Metal Alchemist podcast hasn't read the manga.
Full Metal podcast. Sorry, you know what? Urasawa, I feel like, probably has, like, Monster.
What about
is probably
20th Century Boys?
20th Century Boys. I don't like the ending of.
Hold on, because Zach, I was in your apartment when you finished Monster, and you were like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah, yeah, but that's like one of the ones you have to sit with. I think. No, it is a what the hell was that? Like, no, I think I like it because it is one of the ones that you're thinking about. Like, it challenges you. It's not what you expected. I think the thing about some of those kind of endings, it's like, why did I just go on this journey if this is where it ends? Like, that's kind of
sure.
Like 2001 or something that really swings for it.
I don't know. 2001. I like that ending. Actually, it's so bizarre. That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, skip this segment, obviously, if you don't want to be spoiled on all the things we're mentioning. I feel it. Like Pluto, I feel like is a perfect ending. That series is like
Pluto is really great, but Pluto is also like a remake.
It is.
It is. So it's hard to.
I don't know. It's very good allegory still to this day.
All of this stuff it's all objective, of course. I'm sorry, it's all subjective.
You're right.
There is a truth.
This is yes.
And
it's called domination.
We're gonna end it there.
There's a truth, and only one of us knows it.
And it's Sam.
That's right.
Let's move on into some Piece Together. Hey everyone, this is the Piece Together segment. We take things real serious here. Like, this is some real dark shit we're gonna have here, in this Piece Together segment. Questions, comments, theories? Forget that. That's just we're all about. Alex, what are we about?
Hey, we're about domination. Domination. That's the word of the day on our very professional podcast. Hey.
No,
and Dispiece. Dispiece is the segment. Yeah,
that's the segment.
Dispiece.
Yes,
so, hey, Dispiece.
Patreon subscribers questions.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a question that we left over from last week because Steven is here. Hooray! Steven, I don't know if you're in Dispiece currently.
Yeah, I'm on the channel.
Okay. Let's see.
There's one that was pinned
That's
from
the
Wispy.
One.
Yeah, Wispy, who says, "Heyo, who slop? This chapter seems to be the second time Zoro has used a three-sword serpent technique, with the first one being King of Hell, three-sword serpent, 103 mercies, Dragon Damnation, used against King. Then,
I assume this is talking about last chapter.
Yes.
Since he does not appear a single hair of Zoro in this chapter.
This is from
a single green hair.
This was specifically, I mentioned that we have to leave this over for Stephen.
Yeah.
What if the color editions come out and like there is like one corner of a panel where you can see Zoro's green hair that we just can't see now?
Yeah. It's a pube. Yeah, I was gonna say not a single green pube.
Nice. Wow, perfect. Okay.
Do I have to write that one down?
All right, let's
boom. We got it.
We got the new
title. Anyway, Wispy continues, says, back then he also used Purgatory Onigiri in that chapter, but it was written as King of Hell, three-sword style. Are there any nuances to the kanji for style versus the kanji for serpent that you can glean that would inform when he decides to use one over the other? Maybe it's contextual thematic thing, since it's a little interesting that he pulls out three-sword serpent against the two opponents with Lunarian features. Plus, there's the angle of the red line being referred to as the Serpent of Blood by Elbaf Giants, and the whole idea of the Lunarians being the original inhabitants of the red line. Thank you, OPP.
Yeah. So the thing that Oda's doing there is he's just doing a homonym. He's doing a pun on Ryu, RYU. So Santoryu is three-sword style. And when he did the three-sword serpent, he replaced the Ryu for style with the Ryu for dragon.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and
that's really cool.
I don't remember him doing anything either then or in this recent chapter that like was actually like dragon style. Like I don't think it was like a visual motif. Obviously, I guess was he doing that against that? Was that against it wasn't against Big Mom, was it? Was it against Kaido that Zoro did that in one of the three-sword 100 mercies, 103 mercies? Oh no, it was against King. Okay, so it wasn't against Kaido. So yeah, I think that I think that Oda just kind of was like, you know what, that would be really badass if like he did this and it was like dragon instead of. So obviously, you know, Three Swords style, I went with the S sound, you know, to the alliteration there to like, I guess, try to make it seem like it was, you know, like recognizable as like, oh, this is Zoro's thing, but he's like doing a different thing this time. And so that's why I used serpent instead of like three sword dragon. I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine as far as like, what does that mean? I think it's just like, okay, you know, it's like Diablo Jam or something. It's like, he's really serious this time. Like he's going to do a super powerful attack. You know, it's what Alex was saying. He's doing the level 3 super or whatever, instead of a level 2 super or something. So I don't know if that means it's something that he'll keep doing. I guess I was a little surprised when I saw it used again, but I was like, oh, okay. So I guess that's just a thing that Zoro will do now, is use Three Sword Serpent instead. But yeah, I don't know. I gave you the background for it. That's about all I know that I could tell you off the top of my head.
Well, thank you. That is dope as hell. Zoro is a cool character.
He thinks he's cool.
So we're going to start off with a question that was given to us on 420. Blaze it, from Zach S, who says, "Thank you for answering my question last week. So, Glup Shido is like Egg McBig," and then proceeds to link to a Reddit post. I'm going to describe this for the listener.
Do you have to?
I want to.
Okay.
This is a post from the One Piece Reddit that has gotten 7.2 thousand upvotes and 372 comments.
Is that a lot for the One Piece Reddit? I feel like there's a lot of people on there.
I honestly don't know, but the person says, I recently started reading the manga, and I legitimately feel like this is what most side characters are like. And this is a character who is shaped like an egg that has basically just 2 legs, a scar, a tattoo on the side of his body, no arms, by the way, wearing overalls with a medallion for a belt, a hairy chest, a butt chin, and a shit-eating grin on his face with a curly green butt cut. And there is a Oda box that says Egg McBig, 900 mil bounty. And then a speech bubble of someone talking off screen that says, "That's Egg McBig. He's the most dangerous and richest man alive. He ate the no-arm fruit. He has no arms. And also he was part of the Roger Pirates 28 years ago." So, and then he said, yeah, that's what a Glup-Shido is. I would say, yeah. And then he says, the other terms I have trouble with usually come from Team Dark, Blorble and Snuffy and whatever. I think it's Blorbo, I believe is ask Team Dark whenever they're back on. Speaking of Egg McBig, have you guys been following the Egg McBig saga on Reddit? It's pretty entertaining to me. What do you think? His saga can be found on r Egg McBig.
Why do he have his own Reddit?
By the way, I also want to point out that this is an MS Paint drawing of this character, making it,
of course,
even better, I think.
Yeah, no, that part is. Now I have to go to that. Do I want it?
Honestly, if you are not signed up for the Patreon, sign up for the Patreon and get into the Dispiece channel and see this picture because it's very funny.
Or just Google
it. He looks he looks like an egg cup.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I posted the animal that this is making me think of in our Discord.
Okay, I hope someone on the Egg McBig
click on a different one.
Reddit, please let them know that we love them. And
this is very indicative of I don't know, 2006 era One Piece.
This is just such a speaking of stagnation or whatever we want to call it, like I wish the One Piece fandom were, I wish the One Piece fandom was like it was back in 2008. Here you go. This is the most 2008 thing I've ever seen.
Small and nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many people are on this? 431 weekly visitors? That's a decent chunk of people.
That's very funny. All right. We come to
He was born,
Bliss.
by the way, his birth name was Biggie Benedict Longarm, so...
Oh, I see. So he was a member of the long arm
That's-
tribe, and then he ate a devil fruit. Now he doesn't have long arms anymore.
Correct.
That's I'm sorry, that's a Bleach name. That's not the One Piece name.
No, there'd be some Spanish influence there. There'd be an Enye somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First, for some reason, the N in
For some
long
reason.
arm has
Yeah.
an Enye.
Until then, yeah.
Don't even know how you would pronounce that. Bliss of
Long the arm.
Bliss of Domislation.
Sorry, I don't know why that got me.
Good job, Slay. Says, hello, my fellow dominators. Dominator. What a nice chapter.
I don't know how I feel about that.
The Joy Boy flashback really stunned me. Is the feud simply that Joy Boy and Emu once went to the same high school, and Joy Boy got the lead in the spring musical, and Emu got the role of Blob number 3?
Okay, that's the God Valley arc. You're describing the God Valley arc, though. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Who knows? It also seems that Emo and Nidhogger have this connection, which makes sense since they're both huge and prominent people / creatures on the Harley. Speaking of, only Frankie has seen the Harley. How do you think each of the other Straw Hats would react to seeing it? Thank you and have a great week.
Sorry, I know there's a PS here. Go ahead.
Sure, that's fine. I'll do the PS, then we can get into it. PS, all this talk of domination, I surely hope with all the effort you put into the podcast that everyone should become a sub to your Patreon. Sincerely, it's really worth it. Wow. Boom, goes the dynamite on that one.
Wow. No wonder
Anyway,
I laughed at the title. I did.
How would all the Straw Hats react to seeing the Harley? I think most of them would, be like, oh.
Well, yeah, you can already see, like, okay, so imagine that the Straw Hats are looking at it, and like you're in the position, so they're like looking at you in the panel. So they're not. You don't see the mural. You're just looking at the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
And Luffy and Chopper and Usopp are all making the same like head tilted with their hand on their chin, going, and they just have question marks on their heads. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Well, what I was going to say is that correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not to do a well actually here, but the mural is not the Harley. It's just I guess.
Right. That's just a kid's
interpretation
drawing.
of, yeah. The Harley, Chopper, and Robin were actually reading.
Robin.
Remember, Robin was reading it to Chopper, a little bedtime story. And that's where we got the actual text in that. So actually the only people who've seen the Harley are Chopper and Robin. Or in some degree at least. Robin, you know what it would look like? We talk about this all the time. Like, what if the One Piece podcast did a live reaction of something? That's what it would look like. Just someone reading something.
I think it'd be really funny if Robin saw the mural and she's like, wow, look at this shitty art.
Yeah, her art art is like of that ilk. I feel.
I love her art. I love her drawing.
I'm not criticizing it.
Her drawing of Tsurume is so funny.
Which is funny because like I'm sure Frankie's reaction after that page was he was just like bitchin'. Because it looks like a van drawing or something.
Yeah. Hey, I got a van that's got that on the side. Yeah.
This did remind me something I forgot
Frankie
to talk about.
Frankie is totally a van guy. He totally is.
100%. Sorry, this reminded me one thing I want to talk about in the manga recap, and I'll make it very brief, but that this little flashback convinces me that the form we are currently seeing Emu in is either like a secondary or tertiary form of his, and is not like his actual
what he really looks like.
What he really looks like.
No, I think he looks stupid. I think he looks like Big McEgg.
Yeah, this is his OC.
Maybe it is.
That he's in.
Yeah, 100%. Like once
I think it is Egg McBig.
Once he has like this power, he's just like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna like turn myself into like what I really want to look like in my body image.
Character.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think vanilla Emu looks like Egg McBig. I think he looks really dumb, like a Weeble Wobble.
I think in all honesty, it's probably what he used to look like or something.
Until he fucking got shredded and started eating protein.
No, now he's thousands of years old.
Got on the keto diet.
He's
spent thousands of years on the keto diet, and that's what happened.
I don't know. There's lots of like different theories about that makes sense.
He ate his twin in the womb, and he created a binding vow on his Levelin shrine. And
okay, what's the next question?
The next question's from, or comment, whatever, is from Reverse Lived Dog, who says, "Hey there, Omen Poops, perhaps." So it looks like Emu is all about domination.
Devil. It's God Devil in reverse.
God Devil.
I get it now.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. That's funny. Mm-hmm. So it looks like Emu is all about domination and envy, while Joy Boy and Luffy are all about freedom and friendship, to the point where both of their powers reflect those values. Emu probably saw Joy Boy do something cool in that flashback panel and got all I don't know if this is Angie.
I think it's Angie.
Angie, angry, or angsty, whatever. You can whichever.
Angie is like the cutesy, I think.
Angie, and got all angy while Luffy could see someone do a cool thing and get excited. Based on this, do you think all the dots over Emu's body are like little round rabbit poops, like the ones Carrot drops on the way to Ninja Land?
Yes.
It's an Ninja Park.
Ninja Park, yeah. Ninja Land literally sounds like the name of like a Shin. It's like a Shin
Land's the California one.
No. They're thinking of Namco Ninja Town is what they're thinking.
So funny. That's so funny. So fucking funny, Sam. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, Sam. What is your
California
answer for
Adventure?
this?
Yes, Sam.
The rabbit poops.
What was the specific question?
Or Emu's dots rabbit poop from Carrot.
Like the ones that Carrot drops.
Like the ones that Carrot drops on Ninja. Yeah, similar, so not necessarily Carrots.
I mean, I think it was a different rabbit.
Yeah, obviously it was a different rabbit.
Nice.
What's next,
Great.
Alex?
She's thousands of miles away.
Ninja Land sounds like the name of a Crayon Shin-chan movie. Like Crayon Shin-chan
because it's Ninja Land.
Yeah.
Movie 32.
Yeah. No, really though. I've been watching all of those, by the way. They're all an hour and a half, which is like, which seems like, oh, hey, that sounds pretty breezy, but like Shin-chan is mostly just like dick and fart jokes. So it's like a lot of it's just like,
sounds
okay.
awful.
It's actually
I say sarcastically.
Some of them are really good.
No,
some of them are
kidding.
like, okay, I'm
Those
so tired
great.
of this.
That's great humor right there. Let's lean into that. What's next?
All right, Sailor Karna says, hey, OPP, my kid wanted to let you know that we're almost done with the Dressrosa arc. And yeah, it was a struggle, but with the skip button and having it on the background helped. Anyways, this week's chapter is fuel for so many theories that I'm exhausted. Can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts on it, though.
I will say...
You have.
Sorry, we talked about Dressrosa. I meant to... Sorry, I'm talking a lot. The thing about Dressrosa... I guess. The thing about Dressrosa is that it is probably... I say it because it's not my subjective experience, but like it is meant to be consumed in like, not in a sitting, but like marathon. Like you're supposed to read through the whole thing. It does not work week to week. It just doesn't. Everyone I know who has read it week to week does not have a very favorable opinion of it. Everyone I know who has read it in one go,
except for me.
Oh yeah, you love Dressrosa. That's true.
Everyone
who's read it in one go loves it.
I thought they said, hey, OPP, my kid wants to know if we're almost done with the Dressrosa arc.
No, you're not. You're not.
Never.
There's a whole other part after that.
Never. I'm going to I bet I'm going to hit Dressrosa in my next read through of One Piece and be like, actually, this is pretty fucking great.
Rocks, yeah.
I did the last read through. I remember very specifically the first like literal half up to 75, volume 75 is excellent. It's like, it's very fun and good. Everything
once the landscape changes, then I get really sick of it.
Yeah. Like the whole one of my favorite gags in the entire series is Luffy dressed up as the fish and Zoro and Sanji, I think, dressed up as Kinemon, right? That was it. And like those stupid costumes is one of the funniest freaking things ever.
Hey, how do we feel about when Abdullah and Jeet tricked Luffy into going into the cave? How do we feel about that?
We feel exactly how you think we feel about that. You see, that's a nothing.
That's
thing.
The kind of shit. That's the kind of shit that I remember about Dressrosa.
You see, that is
Doflamingo's string clones.
That is the symptom of a weekly read through. Like, I think if you were reading through that in one go, you don't really think anything of it because you immediately forget about it because it's such a nothing burger.
Or that,
but it's also just like why so many scenes?
or that.
Oh, even
or
Sam
why,
has these opinions. Sam always disagrees with us on most things.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm just surprised about that. Please, let's
Yeah,
go to the next
anyway.
question
Wow.
before we
Yeah,
get
okay,
the entire
all right,
internet
guys.
hating us.
Yep, we reminded everyone of our Dressrosa opinions. I think we can. There's done and dusted. We've got another episode in the books.
Let's talk about Popeyes for 45 minutes.
I think Wano is like the arc of Abdullah and Jeet scenes.
Wow.
That's a hot take.
an opinion.
Yeah,
That
do
is
not
That's a
elaborate.
very hot
Do
take.
not elaborate.
No, Sam,
Wow.
you should elaborate because that will make you very popular on Twitter.
Wow. Sam, I
what's
think you should
next?
have your own podcast.
You should call it Domination.
No, honestly, I think that like once we're all said and done with like our like, oh yeah, who guessed the correct amount of chapters in Elbaf, we should just give it to Sam anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
That's
Sam
fair.
should just have
Should
like
we see
final
where we
edit
are?
on
Wait,
an
I want to
episode.
see if all of you are listed on that. I have that from way back.
I don't think I ever gave mine.
I think we're totally
Sam never
fucked. I think
gave
we're all fucked.
Sam, you never gave us yours, so you still can. You get a real.
How many
leg up
chapters do
here.
I think Elbaf is from
No,
now?
what chapter do you think it will end?
Okay, so we're
Like, we're
on
at
1181.
And then I'll tell you
Ugh.
what everyone else said. And
Yeah. Don't say yet.
I'm not going to say it yet.
So I have to guess first.
You have to guess. We already
Yeah,
did.
you're
you
the
get
only
it
one.
on
Yeah,
the
we
dot.
did
I hope you
I'm
get
not
it
showing
on the
you what
fucking
it is,
dot.
but it's there.
Because now I really would love a Sam podcast, and I think
I
the
always
listeners
want a
would
Sam
too.
podcast. Everyone loves the Sam.
Add us on Blue Sky.
Sam, what's your answer?
1208.
I don't think anyone guessed that. I'll just do the people here because otherwise it's going to go forever.
Sure.
I did 1227, and that was my on purpose to not win.
You fucking idiot.
Ed said 1175, so he's gone. Alex, you could still get this, but you better get it soon. 1184. Steven has
Jesus,
1195, which possible, unlikely, I still think, but possible. Steve said 1192. I'll mention him. Yeah. We'll see. Let's see. But this was, by the way, we did this sometime.
This was before, like, we knew that, like, oh yeah, there's going to be a fucking God
This
Valley
was-
flashback.
yeah.
That's going to be
Yeah.
the longest flashback in One Piece.
This was in September of 2024. So, to
Nice.
give you an idea of when that was. So, yeah. What's the next question, Alex?
All right, King Doji says, "Hey OPP, I was listening to Alexandre,
What?
Alexandre,
Oh,
Alexandre.
Mary Schwa.
Alexander.
Mary
Alexander.
Schwa.
This guy's a guest. You can't make fun of him.
Yeah, he was a guest, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jesus.
I don't think you were
don't
making
know.
fun of him. I
I
thought
was
you
mostly
just messed
doing
it
a
up.
home movies. I was doing a home movies reference also. I was listening to Alexander's newest video. Very good. Go watch. He says Emu has arguably one of the most effective character introductions. I would put Kaido and Mihawk on that list as well, not to draw more similarities between Emu and Mihawk. Who else do you think goes on that list?
Ooh, Kaido and
Okay,
Mihawk
G.
are good choices. Kaido's like dropping from the sky. That's such a fun.
Mihawk cuts a ship in half. I mean, like
That's-
that's pretty
yeah.
fucking
Yes,
badass.
Mihawk's
Yep.
is one of the best.
I mean, I don't.
Mihawk's is like future Trunks' appearance level.
Yes.
Like, holy shit, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm. It's funny because like I was like Blackbeard and Whitebeard are like they're so understated because the first time we
Yeah,
see
but that's
Blackbeard is
good.
just hooked
Yeah.
up to IVs and shit. No, it's very good.
I mean, I think that's intentional, is what I
The
meant.
first time we see
LTG.
Doflamingo, he's doing his fucking crip walk or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
Kuzan's.
Yeah,
That's
Kuzan.
true.
Aokiji.
Kuzan's is great.
Kuzan. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Oh, okay,
with
you
the
know
bike
what?
and the
Aokiji's is definitely my favorite because I just have a distinct memory of when that happened week to week and being totally fucking chilled to the bone. Like I was.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the point.
like at that point where you're just like, man, Luffy's the best. He's gonna win every fight ever.
Yeah, I
and
think
you're just like, what? A Marine? A
Aokiji,
fucking
yeah.
cop?
Yeah, Alex, do you remember
Communists hate
at the
those.
time? Like, was it still too early in the series for everyone to be like, which character that we've seen before is this definitely going to be?
No,
or not?
Yeah, no, it absolutely wasn't because I think before we see that, before Aokiji shows up, like the first time we do see him is a little silhouette of him on the bike or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the first time we actually see him. But then when he shows up,
Yes.
this was before everybody was like, oh wow, I wonder if so and so is going to show up again.
Yeah.
Like
By the way-
that was before that era. I think Duval was the big like, oh, I bet it's Don Krieg.
Yeah,
Or-
that true.
Yeah. That I
By the
remember
way, yeah,
really
Duval
distinctly.
was the big like, but that also lent itself to that. I think Oda was encouraging.
He was
that
playing
kinda-
into it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just want to say, for those who haven't read the manga Davy Back Fights, this what Alex is talking about. This is why
Yeah.
you should read it in the manga. It is
Seriously.
excellent. It is a
They-
legitimately excellent arc.
Davy Backfight ends, and then Aokiji just shows up.
No,
There's
it's
no
in. It's like it
20
is
episodes
in,
of filler.
No, yeah, no, it is in Tonjit's house, right? It's like related to what's
Yeah,
happening.
they don't
They're
move
right
locations.
outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, he's literally right outside.
I think,
Alex.
he definitely deserves to be in that conversation, as does Frankie, I think. I think Frankie has a really
Frankie's
awesome,
is fun. Yeah.
a really awesome intro, and I'm also talking about him just like when you see him in the shadows, and he's got
Wasting
the funky
Usopp.
mask on, and yeah, he totally fucks Usopp. Like it's fucking crazy. I think those are probably my list. But yeah, Mihawk is probably number one. Let's be
I think in
honest.
the anime, the Frankie, just Yao, as Frankie, is so
It's really
iconic.
great.
That moment.
What a fucking legend.
It's just I hope he's doing all right.
Seems like it. I
He's
log
around
into
on
Twitter
that.
every now and again so I can see what he's up to.
I think he's on Instagram
Because he's
right?
got a Twitter account. He might be on Instagram. Anyway, Big Mike says, in last week's chapter, Imu was able to free Gunko after she was captured by Ice. But can Imu fuck Ice? Very good.
No, now you say it out loud. Now I get it.
Yeah, very good.
You
Yes.
mean like sexually?
So SNP says, "Hey OPP, I really hope Steven is on this week because this really messed with my heads."
I think this is what we talked about. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, I think we might have we might have already talked about this, but yeah, like when you suddenly have power so easily, you get corrupted, i.e. corruption. Very easy to understand. Choosing to work for someone in return for something, you may deal with them, i.e. covenant. Great, but the last one, let's remove the omen. That's right. Can't wait for your podcast, Sam.
Yes, I'm excited for domination.
Domination. Let's remove the omen aside for a bit.
Communation, yeah.
Ooh, has that been taken?
Let's remove the omen
Sam
aside.
Leach. Yeah, go
Oh my
ahead.
God, let him talk.
No.
I can sing. Let's remove the omen aside for a bit. Context for others. Host Oda used the same kanji maki as omen, but with different furigana. Before it was omen in katakana, but now it's chikara power. So that's probably why Steven is choosing to include omen here to make that connection clearer.
Yep.
I'm not really understanding how is envy that seeks to achieve one's goals related to power or even omen, unless it's something like envy, a bad trait that will lead to having maki, demonic, or as I'm jokingly referring to as bad vibes when I release a Chinese web novel.
Yeah, I would say that this might be like, of all the stuff around this spiel, this might be the bit that I still don't really buy very well from Oda. That like literally it is so if you were to translate, so this is the line, and the envy that seeks to achieve one's goals, the power of omen. If I were to translate it literally, just like, okay, what are the words? How do they fit together grammatically? It would be like envy's power to achieve that, whatever that is. I guess that's, getting power or something. So it's a lot of nouns that go together, that kind of pile on top of each other. And when you consider that, I also have to like put in the power of omen, because it is a reference to his magical thing that he does. So I don't know if I have a great answer for how envy fits into there, because it does seem like it kind of that kind of overlaps with the explanation of the corruption of the Domi part. That you're lusting after power, and then you get it. It's just given to you without you having to earn it, and that is a corrupting force. I don't necessarily know how envy works into the omen part either. So it's a bit of a puzzler, I would say. Part of the challenge of interpreting what Oda is doing here by kind of having this like little poetic speech rather than like just explaining what his stuff does.
Could this be a reference to the sins, I guess? Because like I guess choosing servant, like there's some sloth here and there's a little bit of lust, but lust for power.
And he mentioned that.
I don't know.
Maybe that's like the thing that he uses to corrupt you or something.
Yeah.
When he left Mary Joa, didn't he say something along those lines? He said
yeah, he was listing the sins, right?
Yeah, wait, I'm looking. He was saying something like that.
He
said, sorry to.
The power of envy, like, yeah, this is definitely if that is why he's saying all that stuff, it's definitely like Imu is definitely a hat on a hat of a character in terms of design, in terms of just like I'm gonna reference everything about devils and hell and it's very much pouring it on like, hey, this is the most evil character in the whole series, like. There's nobody more evil than this character by design, and it's almost like it almost seems on purpose in that way.
Here it is. So he's saying this is no longer a coincidence, Warcury. Arrogance, sloth, detachment, pride casteth away these things at once. All is preordained. And then he goes through his flashbacks. It began long before this.
We're definitely getting some sort of another flashback.
I think you're probably right. I just don't know if it's in this arc. And this arc is, as you said, like the definition of an arc is so broken.
Or if it's like, if it's the flashback, or if it's just going to be a little taste.
I think though, and we've been seeing it really since the beginning with Imu. It's very interesting how he's just like mentally. Like because of the immortality, he's just mentally in all the different times at once almost.
Oh,
like he is living in the past almost literally. Like he really I think that speech, if anything, is probably a testament to him and his like how he sees things. But we'll see. I don't know.
Sorry I couldn't give you a better answer, but maybe it's the sort of thing that will make more sense in retrospect.
Right. All right, we've got two more. I don't give a cram. Nice, good one this week. Ahoy OPP banger chapter as always. I really appreciate that we're getting goofier expressions from Imu now. I guess that's in regard to his like, is it Joy Boy? That big like elongated, I love how there's dense dialogue with ambiguous meaning while Imu and Loki pretty much hit each other with overpowered attacks that would kill anyone else. Lol. Oh, and poor Imu. No one had it worse with Harold's death than Himu. Mike,
that's how he would say it.
My question this week: would historians call Joy Boy and Imu roommates and close friends? Oh man.
Oh yes, boy, just like James Buchanan and Abraham Lincoln?
Factory is going in overdrive.
Yeah, archive of our own. Look out. Have a great week, Hart. Thanks, Graham. And then we've got Wispy with our last one for this week, who says, "Heyo, who's slow PP? The way Imu talks about the Nidhogger makes me wonder if the Nidhogger was their pet during the Void Century. That panel at the end especially makes it look like they're looking at him fondly. Could that be why Vegapunk was recreating dragons on Punk Hazard? Imu just wants to bring his old pal back from the farm upstate." Also, if Steven gets a chance to answer my question about the nuances of Three Sword Style versus Three Serpent from last week, that'd be much appreciated. Well, we did.
Well, we did, so you better have appreciated. No.
Thanks as always, OPP. Yeah, I think we've definitely mentioned the dragon thing, the Vegapunk dragon cloning thing earlier in the arc, especially since the Nidhogger looks like that second dragon in Punk Hazard. I liked a lot.
I think that's another example of like some of the stuff that Oda is like really leaning heavily on, like with the giants being like uniquely important and the dragon motif getting brought up again and again, where it kind of feels like he's probably going somewhere with this, and it also feels like, okay, like is this like the important thing? Like, is this the thing that's going to be central to the story of One Piece? And does that feel like that extends naturally from the way that the series started? Mm-hmm. And does it feel like this was the One Piece we were waiting for all along, sort of thing? I feel like that's a facet of the discussion that we had at the end of the manga recap, because he certainly has been hammering on that, and that's another thing where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Yeah, no, I ditto. Emails. We got emails. Let's start with the piece together answers from our trivia questions last week, which I think only Alex, were you on for that or no?
I was on for that.
Oh yeah, I didn't listen to the episode, so please just give the answers with no context. So that,
are you sure? Because I won't remember it without context, so that's not going to work.
Fine.
Okay. First question: what was the first SBS question ever asked? Why don't Steven, I'll give you like lightning round, try and answer it.
Oh, you want to give me the?
I'm going to give you a chance. Yeah,
sure,
why not?
Sure. Yes, lightning round. This will be literally off the top of my head.
Yes. What was the first SBS question ever asked? Was the question?
Oh, the first SBS question ever asked. is going to be something like how can we send our questions to the SBS or something?
No, we thought the answer was the gum, like the how many gums is the, like the or a penis.
Oh yeah, that's a good
more specific.
Guess,
the actual answer, we were wrong. How old are Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Shanks? Boring. 2, and this one we got right. The cover of Volume 64 was the first time this group was drawn together. Name that group.
64. That would have been, was that Ace, Luffy, and Sabo?
No, you're thinking of 60. You're thinking of 60. The correct answer is the current Straw Hat Pirates. That's the one with the 2 Robins back to the
okay.
Fishman Island.
Yeah, post time skip, yeah.
Number 3, this character was first mentioned in chapter 159. While they do have a distinctive facial feature, it's not what you think given the name. What is the first and last name of this character? I think we did get this one right, but
we got it wrong. I found that out. I'm really mad about it, actually.
We
went back and forth. It's a very, very, very confusingly worded question, too. No offense to Ben.
Basically, this chapter, I'm sorry,
159.
Chapter 159 is when this character was first
and he has a distinctive facial feature, and it's the first time he was talked about.
But it's not what you think. The facial feature is not what you think.
And the facial feature was not mentioned, or it was mentioned?
No, it's mentioned as part of the name, I guess. It's not what you think given the name.
Am I guessing too?
You can, Sam, if you didn't listen to last week's episode. If you're going to just tell us that you didn't listen last week.
No, I didn't listen.
Oh, my God.
That's not. You're not talking about Whitebeard, are you?
Steven, what do you think?
Oh, because he has a mustache and not a white beard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was going to say, like, it sounds like it would be, if you're referring to characters that you haven't seen yet around there, I was like, it's either going to be like Ace or Blackbeard or something.
Do you have an answer?
No, one of them.
Someone you guys mentioned.
Yeah, there you go.
Marshall D. Teach. Whitebeard's first scene in this chapter, first mention, is in 157. Evil.
Wait, really?
Evil, yes.
So did we get it right? Because we said Teach.
I know. I thought we said Teach. Yeah, so I think we got it right. I think
think?
We got 2 out of 5 right, so we'll see. I don't think we got the rest of these right. No, we definitely didn't. So that was it. I think those are the 2 we got right, 2 and 3. 4, this one's impossible. I'm just going to say. The title page of this chapter features Luffy having a meal of meat and ramen with a conveniently hidden character with Nami as the waitress. What is the number of this chapter?
The number.
And
we definitely got this one wrong.
Yeah,
we weren't far off. We kind of
we were close. We were very close.
It's obviously you're talking about the Naruto chapter, right?
Yes, it's the Naruto chapter. Yeah.
That's probably something like 765 or something like that.
That is insane.
You
You are one off. One off. 766.
Yeah,
And by the way,
I was gonna say that I was like 760. Yeah, I'll go with 5, but yeah.
I looked that up afterwards, and we're like, damn, we were like, I think we said 700 just
750,
because we're like,
I think.
fuck it.
No, I think we ended up doing 750 because it was between
Whatever. We got it wrong.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
That is insane. Give Steven money. Just send Steven money.
Sure.
P.O. Box Steven Paul.
Yes, that's the address.
That's the address. Last
P.O.
one
Box
in
is
One
right.
Piece Film Red. What is Uta's record in her competitions with Luffy?
What did we say?
I think we said 100 to 0,
100
to 1 or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna just say like, it's gonna be like 3,000 to 0 or something like that, because that's how
we were
likes to do it.
closer. If that's how
Okay.
we're doing it. 184 to 0. Says thanks for playing. Love hearing the debate every year. Get ready for next year, April 11th and year number 13. I'm definitely going to
Crazy.
forget about this until it happens. Is my response.
Wait, so we got Blackbeard right?
We got Blackbeard right, and we got the volume 64 cover.
Okay,
right.
because somebody in the Discord said that it was Whitebeard and that we were wrong.
Well, that's the thing. Whitebeard's first seen in that chapter, and that's the
Really?
extra trick in that. But yeah, Blackbeard's first.
Was it like is he like a silhouette?
No, I think that I have to look. I don't remember.
What
That's
if
probably
that's
the one
the-
Ace
that's-
is
Was that the
talking about.
Rockstar scene?
No, I think that's later.
was that
That's in the
later?
200s,
Okay.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Last one comes from John Kleckner, who says, hey gang. Oh my God, I can't talk today. They were fine. This is me. Long time, first time. Sorry if this is a long read, or if anime socials have already discussed this, feel free to pare down as necessary. I'll try. I have a theory about Emu that I don't think was discussed on the pod, and I don't think we talked about this. Emu's goofy silhouette we've had theories about it, but we'll talk about it. Emu's goofy silhouette is their true form, and Nerona Emu is one of their avatars. This week's panel of Silhouette Emu talking to Silhouette Joy Boy appears to reinforce this, because why would Oda return to Emu's old silhouette after the true form was revealed? I suspect that in their endeavor for absolute control, Emu betrayed the first 20 families and collected the bodies of their dissenters. Interesting. Leaving their willing subordinates and their heirs to live in Marijoa. Emu uses this Rolodex of bodies to visit the surface. Totally possible. To visit the surface world in case of an emergency. And for this trip, they chose a Nerona avatar, a giantish body suited for Elbaf. This process appears to put Emu in a weakened state, coughing up blood on touchdown, suggesting that the body they are using is rejecting Emu's presence, or that said body has long since expired. If true, this reinforces One Piece's theme of control versus liberation and serves as a foil of inherited will if Emu refuses to pass on their will to the next generation. Or maybe I'm full of beans and One Piece's final boss is a Boruto OC. Anyway, thanks for providing such a good weekly digest for all these years. Here's to 17 more. Kidding, unless you want to. Thanks, John. I like that theory a lot. It's been hard for me to put into words what I'm thinking with when it comes to Emu. So I think that's a cool theory. I don't know if it's true.
I think that was the guy who said that Chopper was getting killed by Dio or whatever. That we kept reposting in the
yeah.
in
No,
the
this
Discord.
is first time.
Joe
This is their first
Mangello's Instagram account.
No, but he
Oh,
was the
that
one
one.
who posted that the picture was edited like Chopper died on the way to fight Dio.
Oh, what a coincidence, because that's been posted in our Discord many times.
It's very funny.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was asked to us for some reason. I'm losing it. I think that's a really good theory. I like that a lot.
Very creative, yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily personally buying into it, but I would definitely buy some shares in it. It's not bad. I like it.
I mean, it would explain why he has a walk-in fridge in Marijoa.
Yeah.
Walk-in freezer, I should say,
Oh, yeah. Here we go, John.
for all the
Kleckner.
bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see him now with the this picture was edited like Jobber died on the way to fight Dio. Have we discussed that joke? 'Cause sorry, it's not John's fault. It's that it's been brought up a lot in our group.
Oh, by the way, chapter 159 is the chapter where Ace destroys all those billion ships and gives the beaver card to Luffy. Yeah, same. I'm like, oh well, the person who mentions Blackbeard is obviously Ace. And,
yes,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did,
and I guess we see like a silhouette. We see a silhouette
Chase,
or something of Whitebeard in that one.
And then we have one Blue Sky Pia question. I believe just the one comes from Ice Fisher Tenacity, who says, "Hi OPP, I don't have much to say on this chapter and fight other than I thought it was good and exciting. Though on the topic of fights, I was hoping to get your thoughts about seeing a fight never put to panel, since we're going to meet Ace in OPLA Season 3, not the podcast, but the series. How would you feel if, as a Season 3 cold open, we got to see Ace fighting the warlord Hanafuda? Oh my god. First time viewers will get a showcase of his skills before really getting to know him in Alabasta, while longtime fans will geek out and maybe get confirmation that Hanafuda ate the T-Rex fruit. I don't think I'll geek out about Hanafuda.
No, me either. Fuck that guy. I am
my response
totally
is Hanabuda.
Oh,
Boo. Yeah, not like Gautama.
or like Hanabu Earns.
I was saying Hanabu Earns. Hanafuda is. I could maybe the character that I have given the least amount of a shit about in the entire series of One Piece.
Considering like the invented like importance of him being a warlord. It's like,
yeah, like
you're gonna diss Ulti and Page One's dad like that?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
Hey, you know what? If he can come and fight me. Oh wait, he can't. He's dead.
Boom. He got you there, Sam.
Wow. Got your ass.
Okay, that's it for Piece Together.
You're right.
Let's round off and see who's winning in our Glup Shipbeard tournament.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right after these messages from your local Emu at Hot Topic.
Hey, guys. It's me again. Look, today's my last day, but I said I would do this commercial, so, like, whatever. If you guys like Rick and Morty shirts, you can come by and get one. We've got, like, a lot in the back. I had to do inventory last month, and it sucked a whole lot. Because, like, I was up all night and, like, I really wanted to go to my friend's show the next night, but I was too tired and I just slept all day. Anyways, we have a bunch of Rick and Morty shirts. We got some Naruto backpacks. We have the Nightmare Before Christmas socks. Okay, anyway, I'm clocking out. My bud's got like a gig at a startup and he said that I could have like an IT job or something there. So, peace. Oh yeah, you should go to my friend's MySpace page because, Bandcamp kicked him off because his music was too edgy or whatever.
This has been episode 916 of the One Piece Podcast. Big thanks to Hot Topic for sponsoring this week's episode of the podcast. Not really, but kind of. Thank you all for coming on. Steven, where can people find you?
I'm over on Blue Sky, StephenPaul.bsky.social. Check out, you can't check out anything next week because there's no Shonen Jump, so don't. I cede my time.
Okay. Kanabanashi was really good this week.
It was.
Yeah, this was a good one. I was thinking about it after, if that's not obvious. Alex, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Dude Exclamation on Bisky. You can find Weeb Simpsons at Bisky. SuperArtFight.com. I'm not having a show anytime soon, but you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/SuperArtFight. Join the Patreon and get access to old shows. Like our venue shows, like we have video of that. It's great. You should go there and give us money.
And our resident communist, Sam Leach. What do you have to promote?
Well, hopefully someday soon I'll have another batch of anime recap episodes to promote. We are quite far behind. I apologize. It's just the longer it goes, the harder it gets to start catching up again.
Yeah, that's not going to get easier, though. Got to be
So
accountable.
hopefully
on
we'll do
air.
like a big catch up episode on one of these break weeks.
Well, next week's a break week.
It's a good chance.
Great. Let's make a plan then.
Let's make a plan. Let's do this. Let's anime recap this up next week. You heard it here first, or maybe last actually, because it's the end of the show. Sam, but anything else going on? Any merchandise or monetary things that you want to capitalistic endeavors that you would like to promote?
What do you think the answer to that one is?
I think you can find us at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. Subscribe, get stickers if you're at the $12 a month or more. And if you love capitalism, you could also subscribe to us at $5 or more. But it's not really about capitalism, but supporting the good people who do work here, like our editor Delaney, our artist Kirby, for this week. Huge thanks to both of them. You can find me, by the way, ZachLogan.com on Blue Sky. You can find us, OnePiecePodcast.com on Blue Sky. We're the One Piece Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube.com/OnePiecePodcast, and Spotify and the rest. You could also find us saying fuck to ice, but not in the other connotation, just the one you would think. Let's see how the Glup Shit Beer tournament is going. How is that Glup Shit Beer? You did you post it, Steven? You did, right? Oh no, Ken did.
Ken did. Shall I?
Please, because I've talked too much this episode, and that's objectively true.
All right, for the end of the show, Ken says, Whoopslap beat Bonk Punch 21-16. Red King beat Pomsky 24-12. Orlumbus beat Kinderella 26-11. Lime Juice beat Stefan, sad face, 19-17. Chuji beat Rockstar 24-13.
That's
Moosey,
Sorry,
Moosey,
a mouse beat Rockstar. That's just excellent.
Moosey beat Babaru, so Dead Grandma is even deader, 24-13. Sarfunkel beat Hamlet 20-18. Wow, it's a big
That's
one.
close. I'm surprised. Yeah.
King Hamburger, aka Burger Ham Lincoln, beat Hoikel 25-12. Fishwoman Nami beat Bunbaku's Balls 28-10. Peak of the Crotch beat Urkuk 26-16.
Sorry,
King Bomb beat Lasso, sad face 22-6. Although we love King
that
Bomb
one,
here.
King Bomb,
that's a tough match.
Yeah.
King Baum. That's a Steven character. It's like specific to our podcast too.
100%.
Yes.
Bogart somehow beat Calicoach 22-16.
Wow.
Oh, people don't fuck around about Bogart.
No,
For
cool.
some reason, he's fine.
Yeah, I like his design.
He's not Calicoach. Anyway, speaking of cats, Josh beat Pearl 20-19. Wowzers!
Wow! I'll say I voted for Josh just because I could feel Josh hating me if I did not. Vote for Josh.
I also voted for Josh.
I felt
peer
peer pressured. And Josh scares me more than Steve. Just gonna be completely honest here. Please go ahead.
The Satanists beat Diesel 25-13. Little Ors Jr. beat Nisekoi from Nisekoi 20-19. I believe
that is 100% Steven's fault.
I believe Steven had the tiebreaker there to dox him.
And he was wrong. Nisekoi from Nisekoi should have won this entire thing. It would have been incredible.
What I didn't know is that that's not the character's name.
No, it's not even the character's name. That's what makes it extra amazing. Or for Ken, extra terrible.
My favorite. Lastly but not leastly, Charlotte Moscato, Minister of Gelato, beat Mom Sleeptid 20-18.
I keep forgetting who the Mom Sleeptid is because I'm like, oh right, it's the Sleeptid in Elbaf that looks like a mom, not Big Mom.
It's somebody's mom. I forget the character's name. Anyways, those are our bracket standings as of now.
Yeah,
join
let's
our Patreon.
See. The next round,
join our Discord, rather.
The next rounds, just so you get your votes ready. Whoopslap versus Red King. Orlumbus versus Lime Juice. Wasn't he up against Bonk Punch before, and now he's up against Lime Juice? I'm seeing what's happening. Chuji versus Moosey, the battle of the animals. Sarfunkel versus Burger Ham Lincoln. Fishwoman Nami versus Pika the Crotch. That's a tough one. King Baum versus Bogart. There you go. Josh versus the Satanists. I'm sorry, Josh. That's the end of that road. For me. Little Ors Jr. and Charlotte Moscato, Minister of Gelato. Those are your, what is that, quarterfinalists, I think?
This is what the Karita Coliseum felt like.
Because it is. It's like, who the hell are these people in Block D or whatever? Block C. I think it was Block C. Like Bartolomeo. But, I mean,
rereading through that is not as fun as I wanted it to be. Because it's just like, God, there's so many fucking people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll
you don't
do
fuck
it for
with the
this
Funk
week.
Brothers?
So many fucking characters.
Oh,
you mean the jacket
fruit?
jacket?
You mean my personal fruit that I got that one time?
That's right. That was pretty
I'm
funny.
the jacket fruit. I'm the spiritual successor to one of the Funk Brothers.
The Funk Brothers, unless there's some funny business going on, the Funk Brothers are the only people in One Piece that I know of whose last name is second.
The Take Off Your Pants and Jacket Brothers. That's
That'll do it for the
yeah.
One Piece podcast. We'll see you next week for our anime recap marathon? Question mark? Yes? My name is Zach.
for Chitoge Kirisaki.
My name is Zach.
And my name is Alex.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.